Welcome back to the movement, everybody. I don't even have to give the man an introduction. You know, he's already your best friend. Today, you're going to get something very special, very eye-opening. You're going to find out a lot about ayahuasca and life, you know what I mean? But A, give the man a compliment. Lost a lot of weight. You're looking sharp.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What's going on?
The transformation, man, over the last 2 years has been a real emphasis on me, going inward and fixing me and making
The
all
personal healing story,
all
that's
that
right.
stuff, buddy. So
Well, you look incredible, man.
part of that is the physical part, right? So mind, body, spirit, all of it together. So thank you very much.
Hey, you know what? Your significant other's going to get jealous, bro. The way you're looking nowadays, you're going to be swatting them away, you know?
Well, man, she's a huge inspiration too. Like Dan is a beast when it comes to like discipline. Like, you know, she that her lifestyle is health and fitness and wellness and
Well, you got to spill the secrets at this point. You're going to have to show us some
yeah.
love here. I'm still trying to get rid of this, bro. I'm dying.
Well, I'll tell you, like, what the biggest thing was just cutting out booze. You know, no beer, nothing. Alcohol, been almost a year now, closing in on a year.
Good for you. You stopped for a whole year.
Before that, it was 11 months. And then after 11 months, I gave in for a couple of weeks, hit a few shindigs, had a few bashes. And then I realized, you know what, man? Nah, I'm done. That was it. So if you don't count I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, man, I'm going in on 2 years. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a big shift for me.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So the rest of it is
Big
just
life changer because we already knew from the last
Yeah.
episode. So for whoever that was watching before,
Yeah.
you hit a deep end on the booze drinking.
I did. I mean, booze has always been, I wouldn't know how to describe it. I mean, throughout my life, it's been my Achilles heel.
Do you think that's just the blood in you, or do you think that was more of the lifestyle? And
it was a lot of the childhood trauma stuff, the coping mechanism, the soothing mechanism, avoidance, you know, being
put the mic a little closer to you. There you go.
Being the life of the party was a way to mask what was actually going on internally, right? So the external guy was loads of fun, loads of laughs, great to do stuff with, but internally there was a lot of chaos and turmoil. So it wasn't steady, but in and out bouts of it. So,
how crazy were the bouts? We're talking like the hangover.
Well, I mean,
or we're talking about like Harold and Kumar kind of.
No, like my thing was I didn't drink every day, right? Alcohol. It's not like I woke up and brushed my teeth to vodka, right? It wasn't. It wasn't anything like that. But when I drank, I drank. All right, I had a high tolerance, so I could kill, you know, a 750 milliliter bottle of tequila before even going out.
That's crazy.
And still go out and have pints and still go out and have a martini.
That's
so it was,
crazy.
it was a high tolerance. And yet, still not a guy that was belligerent, falling all over the place, obnoxious. Like,
that's insane.
Yeah, I was the life of the party.
Buddy, you got a liver like nobody would believe you.
Well, it cost me, man. Like, my insides rotted out and fell apart.
That's right. You ended up in the hospital.
2019, I rushed myself to hospital in excruciating pain. My appendix ruptured. Got into the emergency room and vomited everywhere because the pain was just so earth-shattering. And then they did the surgery. Then, you know, 20 or 48 hours later, they rushed me back in. I lost a liter of blood internally. It was just pissing blood.
It's hemorrhaging.
Yeah, it was just hemorrhaging. They didn't get up my artery far enough, so it was all gangrene, like just completely rotted out.
And that's from the drinking?
Well, it was just lifestyle, yeah. Like I was in a dark place. Stress is a big one. You know our industry in construction, buddy. You're, 12, 15-hour days pumping away. During the day, it's running staff, troubleshooting, problem solving, babysitting, and then at nighttime is entertaining. I was out every night taking people out, right? Yeah. And our industry, buddy. Like,
they go hard.
People like to have a good time, right? And everybody you take out, it's like it's their first time going out in months, right? Yeah. So you got to put your game face on every night, no matter how bad you feel.
You literally just nailed it right on the head.
Yeah,
too. That's actually the best depiction.
It is. And so, but the truth of the matter was, regardless of the laughs, the fun, the joke, deep down inside, I was hurting, man. I was in a lot of pain. I was in much of the chaos. I felt lost, felt, just angry, resentful, just betrayed in many ways, just a lot of stuff.
Because it was your dad.
Well, my dad was a real piece of shit. I mean, he was a fucking asshole, and I never fully dealt with it. I thought I did, like at 20, I came to a real fork in the road. It was, keep partying, keep hanging out with loser friends, keep going down that path, and you're going to end up like these guys, because a bunch of them were older than me, right? And I don't want to put down the professions they were in. Some of these guys were packing boxes in warehouses and stuff like that at 26 years old, right? And I thought to myself, this can't be life. This can't be it. That I can't. There's no way this is going to be me in 5 years. So, I stopped the partying, the drugs, I was doing some massive amounts of cocaine at 20 years old.
What's always crazy is the fact that I really commend you for it, man, because you got some fucking balls, bro. For you to be able to sit in front of a camera with a microphone in your face and even just admit to that. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Like, you got to show me your balls one day, not physically.
Well,
and bring them to my way, man.
The reason I'm able to do it without any worry in the world is, for a long time I had a lot of shame over my behavior. Look, I never hurt other people, all right? I wasn't some fucking loser robbing people for his drugs or anything like that, all right? I hurt myself. All right. It was always punishing myself as if I hated myself, right? Externally to the world, again, I was just a party guy. Fucking call Amir. Let's go have a good time. Call Amir. And there I was, like poof, like a genie out of a bottle. Let's go, baby.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Raring.
Ready to go.
Why do you think that was, by the way, though? Do you feel like that was also part of the coping mechanism?
It was.
You wanted to be part of
it all was. It all was. There was I was two people.
Yeah. You're Jekyll and Hyde.
I was a guy that was very driven, ambitious, I loved challenging myself, whether it was through chasing adventure in life, anything that made me uncomfortable, business, whatever it was. Then while building this life, there was this other person that was just working just as hard to sabotage it all. I mean, sweating and grinding it out to just topple this part of me. So it was a seesaw battle throughout life. Sometimes I won, sometimes I lost, My 20s was, full of adventure, full of fun, lived in different countries, different cities. We talked about this the last time. So I thought that
What'd you call yourself last time? You became a beach bum? Is that what you said?
I was a beach bum, man. I was living the fucking dream, buddy. Like, every day, barefoot, board shorts, no top, surfboard. I'd wake up, go to the beach and surf. That was 30 seconds. To feel that hot pavement on the bottom of your feet when you're walking to the beach and just surf.
The best.
It was fucking amazing, And I remember once coming back and I was 24 years old, coming back from the beach. My mom calls. It's early in the morning. I'm like, hey, Mom, what's up? She's like, son, when are you going to come home? I'm like, Mom, I woke up today. I'm barefoot. I got no clothes on. I just spent the last 3 hours surfing. I'm going to have a sandwich. And then I'm going to hit a
mort sandwich.
Yeah, and then I'm going to hit the beach for the rest of the day. I'm not coming home, Mom. So it was the time of my life, man. And
what a compare and contrast. She's stuck in the fucking concrete jungle in Toronto.
Yeah.
And here you are looking up on trees.
Oh, yeah. And my mom was in it, and had her battles and struggles after she left my father. And, my dad, she was married to my father for 20 years, and they were horrible.
I don't remember if you said it last time. Did she become an alcoholic or no?
No, neither one of my parents were drinkers. My mom, you could smell a bottle cap with alcohol and she'd be on the floor fucking wasted. That was the joke, insane. Right? Yeah. My dad was not a drinker. We used to say we wish he was, because then we would have known how to deal with him, right? But he wasn't. He just had personality disorder. It was almost like a bit of schizophrenia.
He was the smoothest guy on earth to everybody else.
He was charming. He was out there. Yeah, but in the house to his own family, he was a fucking tyrant, man. you know, my mom, when she met him, she was young. I think she was like 17, 18 years old. I mean, the joke was like my father was waiting outside her high school graduation or something to.
Fuck, you're full of these good jokes. Yeah. Where's the bottle cap in this one?
He was 32 or 34. I can't remember exactly. And so we're like, Dad, what the fuck? You just wait outside a high school graduation. She ripped off the cap and gown and walked her down the aisle, right? So she, you know, she met this charming man, and he's charming, very charming. That's
actually fantastic.
So
she throws the tassel cap in the wedding gown.
And then she puts the wedding gown, says, I do. And from Croatia to Canada, here we go. And then as soon as she landed here, she met the other version, right? Now, my grandfather knew, because when they left, he said to my dad, I better get her back the way I'm sending her your way. He knew. He knew. They all knew. Anyway, so, you know, for me, it was trying to create a different path in life that wasn't going to be like him. You know, I didn't want to go through life angry and miserable. I didn't look at women the way he looked at them. To him, he once said to me, in his words, all women are whores. And I remember saying, like, you have a daughter, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, just kind of shrugged his shoulder.
That's nuts.
You know, yeah. Like, just,
fuck, you didn't say that one last time.
Just a lunatic, like an absolute lunatic. He was just angry. He was just an angry, angry man.
Angry at what, though?
Well, I don't think he ever really got over what he went through as a kid. You know, poor in a communist country. He had nothing. I mean,
even that where because you're from Croatia, right?
Well, it was Yugoslavia at the time,
Yugoslavia,
right? And my dad didn't have a pot to piss in. He was poor as it gets. You know, no idea where your next meal was coming from, kind of poor. His father died. I think he must have been 6, 7, or 8 years old. So there was no man to fight for the family. So it was him and all his siblings.
How did he die?
I don't know, to be honest.
I was gonna say maybe the war or some shit.
No. It was a health thing, I think. If I remember correctly, I think it had a lot to do with booze. Like a few people on my dad's side of the family died from alcohol. 2 of his brothers, for sure.
Is drinking a very big culture in that part of the world? It is, from the Bosnians and the Serbians and everybody I know.
Oh, yeah. Go to a Croatian wedding.
Buddy. Oh, fuck it. I'm never going again. One time, I'm never doing it again.
One guy in the corner pissing himself, another guy in the corner chasing his wife with his fucking hand in the air. Like, that's a Croatian wedding.
That's literally a good... Fuck, you're bang on it. You can become Picasso the way you paint in this picture. So unbelievable.
Hey, I'm a great storyteller. That's what I'm told. So,
but it's perfect. It's true.
Yeah. So I chased, you know, like I said, at the age of 20, I realized this is not a life for me. This is not what I want to do. I later coined it as something called God's Whispers. All right. Something around the age of 20 told me there's more to life. Don't do this. Don't go down this path. I was at a point where I didn't care if I ever woke up again. I really believed that I didn't give a shit. I wake up. I don't. Who cares? Yeah. You know? But there was this just gnawing thing inside me. It was like, buddy, there's more to life. There's more to life. Don't give up. Don't give up. So they say, you know, you only make real change in life when the circumstance you're in becomes too painful to be in. And that's pretty much what happened to me. I got to a point where it was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just nonstop drugs, alcohol, no sleep. You know, I consistently missed work at the age of, Mondays. Like I was always a no-show. Getting lectures all the time. You know,
I think they made the 4-day work week because of you.
Yeah. I would have turned it into a 3-day work week. Then. What do you mean, an extra fucking night to get silly? Let's do it, you know? I was a marathon man, buddy.
Mondays and Fridays off, buddy. Well, bang it out Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I was a marathon man. I can go on no sleep for days. It was bizarre.
Was this when you and your sister came up with the marketing thing? Or is this
Yeah, so my sister and I at 21, 22 started doing web design, like websites. All right. We started working together, in evenings and weekends kind of thing. This was before Google, right? So when you were talking to business owners...
You keep saying that, people are going to be like, he's old. He's not that old, guys. Relax, take it easy.
But it was funny
because... He's a stud still. Sylvester Stallone's cousin, twice removed.
It was funny because people, when you would go to them and talk to them about a website, what do I need a website for? I don't understand, right? So at that time, you're selling it as like a digital footprint. this is where the world is heading.
I wish I
Get
would have
ahead.
seen their reactions when you're telling people that.
They were scratching their heads. I already have a business card. Why do I need one online?
Yeah,
Type of thing, right?
literally.
So it was good money. What you build now for $500, you were charging 10, 15 grand back then.
That's insane.
Oh, it was a lot of money.
So is that the era of the dot-com? Is that right before the dot-com millionaire stuff?
No, the dot-com bubble burst, I think, was it 99 or 2001?
Was this after?
It was after.
Okay.
It was after. And anyways, we were doing that. And I decided, like I said, I pulled away from all the bad stuff and I was heading in a good trajectory. I got back into health and fitness. I was working out like an animal. Put myself back into soccer. I loved competing. And then from that, got into Muay Thai, which I fell in love with instantly at like 21 years old.
Even now?
I've been doing that like 20 years. And so I started to put together a life, like a real life at fixing this. All right. Getting rid of all of the things.
What a nice exterior, eh? What a fucking garbage
little polished now,
Holy
But I looked at life in a way of, okay, what don't I like about myself and what can I do about it, right? So I thought of a version of myself that I wanted to be, and I looked at the current person and what's missing and just get to work. And that's what I did. And I lived with the tagline, I will not let fear dictate my path. So no matter how scared I am of whatever challenges are ahead of me, I'm going to do it. I don't care, right? So anxiety, sick to my stomach, whatever the case was, I was going to see it through and build this part of me because...
Say that line again.
I will not let fear dictate my path. And that has been with me my entire adult life.
Fuck, I think people should make that one of their tenets on their day-to-days, the rituals.
Well,
I'll not let fear dictate my path. That's a very good one.
It is, I want that to be something that really sinks in with people because, I was a broken kid. I was broken. All right. I was lost. I was scared. I hated myself. I internally thought I was a fucking loser and I was dumb and I had no future. And
When did you realize that you felt that way?
It was after high school, because now it's the real world.
Yeah.
You're not in this bubble anymore with your cool friends that and
That's right.
ooh, I was the big guy at school, the captain of the soccer team and the basketball team, and people knew me within my high school. Outside of those walls, I was a fucking coward, a chicken shit. The world scared me. All right. So I masked it with booze and blow and getting into fist fights and stuff like that because girls. I didn't want people to know the real me. I was a coward and it made me sick. It really did. And so that's why I drowned in all the bullshit. And then, like I said, I got to the age of 20 and I worked a lot of shitty jobs, man, fucking construction, warehouses, like just
Hey, don't talk shit about construction.
No, listen, again,
It's done us well in life.
it has done us very well, and I'm very grateful. And I do not mean to demean anyone or put anyone
Fucking
down.
roofers out there.
The fucking roofers and pavers out there. But I'm like, this just can't be it, And so, like I said, figuring out where I want to go in life, I started to pull on some threads to help me figure out a way. I had no idea how I was going to reinvent myself. I had no idea what this change was going to look like and how I was going to get there. I just knew that I was terrified. And so it was almost like this, again, I go back to this thing called like God's whispers. It was like this instinctive magnet that was pulling me in direction. So first thing was like, go to chapters, go pick a book, just go find a book, anything on self-help or personal growth. And the one I found was Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. That was the first book I ever read from front to back that I wasn't forced to read. And I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. And inside, throughout this book, it just talked about just the ability to make a choice that could change your life. That's on you. Like, you're no longer at a place where you can blame anybody. You're 20 years old. You're making decisions for yourself now. So that means from here forward, it's on you. Not what dad, mom did or house did or all of that bullshit. That's behind you now. Now it's on you. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you can't turn around and blame people if you end up a fucking loser, right? And so I finished reading that book. Then the step that followed after was I saw an interview of, I can't remember his name. He owns the Washington Wizards, all right?
Couldn't tell you.
Billionaire guy. And he said when he was young, he wrote this list or goals, 100 goals that he wanted to accomplish in his life. And he said it's very important that when you write this list to be as outlandish as you want. You have no borders, no boundaries. You are writing this from a place of complete confidence. All right. So imagine yourself in a mindset where fucking anything is possible. What would you write as your list of 100 goals? And I thought, all right, fuck it, I'm going to do that. I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And, you know, why 100 versus 10? Because 10 you can blast out easily. Big house, nice car. I want to be rich. I want a fucking business. I want to be, you know, fit. All right, boom, 10, done, right? But 100 forces you to really think, because you can write 20, 25, all right, 30.
I already thought of like 17,000 right off the bat. You know what I mean?
But when you start getting to that higher number, now you're really forced to think a lot deeper into what you want out of your life. It took me a couple of weeks to get to 100. All right. I went back.
You did the exercise.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And I looked at it all. And then it's basically like a set it and forget it. Every, you know, maybe once a week or whatever it was, I kept pulling it out and just reading it. Not trying to understand how I was going to get there.
Was that part of the exercise once a week?
Part of the exercise. Just read it. Just read it. Get it ingrained into your subconscious that this is what you want out of your life. And then just go live your life. So I did. I just started to follow my intuition on direction. All right. I had no idea how I was going to accomplish the stuff I wanted. All I knew was there is a way to get there. So just start living your life. And I did. So I built this business with my sister. We're working away. And something told me this isn't it right now. You're too young to be working 60,
Your buddy called you.
No, I called my buddy.
Oh, I thought it was your buddy that called you.
No,
where the
it was
fuck
me,
you getting
man.
this light bulb moment from your
No,
buddy called you? Be
it-
like, let's go be beach bums.
It was me that just decided that's it. I want to go to California. Fuck it. I'm out of here. Now, you know, for people that know me today, when I say this, they're like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. If they knew me at 20, it would be no way. Not you. Not a chance, you know? And so picked up, left, and away I went. So I guess where I'm going with all of this is all of this adventure and fun and putting myself out there. And I did. I put myself out there. I ran with the bulls and all of this stuff.
Met Al Pacino and these guys.
Yeah, met Al Pacino, skydived, bungee jumped, got into competing in Muay Thai. Like I was living life, man, with no borders and
Hugh
no
Hefner's
boundaries.
roommate.
Oh, buddy. buddy. So it flowed.
Should have invited me then. He didn't.
Right? Life flowed, man, and I was just something entirely different. But what I discovered later in my mid-30s when the self-sabotage circled back was I didn't really heal. I didn't fix my stuff. All right? It was all surface level. I found a new distraction, and it was adventure, and it was fun, and it was getting out into the world, but it was running still from who I was inside.
That's interesting.
There was still, this is where I learned these two voices that exist inside us all, you know, and there's the one that lies to us repeatedly that tells you you're not good enough and you're not smart enough, you have no value to the world, all of those negative self-reflection thoughts that everybody has.
Yeah.
And then there's the other voice that speaks to you from a deep place inside you, the one that tells you you're meant for more, that tells you to go after your dreams, that tells you to follow leads and all these different instinctive things you're feeling. That, what I learned later in life, was your soul. It's your truth. It's your homing beacon. All right? That's the thing you got to follow. And I didn't at that time understand the two different voices. So as much as I was out running with the bulls and having the time of my life and doing all these amazing things and getting into businesses and start up this and doing that, in the quietest moments, there was still the voice. It's never going to happen, buddy. It's never going to happen.
Even after all that.
even after all of
That's so
it.
interesting you say that.
Nobody,
Continue.
most don't sit still with themselves, okay? Most of us don't, because who wants to? Who wants to hear that shit? Who wants to hear their
Nobody.
fucking thoughts going off about how much you're fucking dumb, it's never gonna happen, you're a fucking loser, you know, look at you tried the last thing and it didn't work. You know, there's these, for everybody it's a different degree of intensity. My inner dialogue at times when I sat still were very intense, all right? So I did not develop a part of me that knew how to redirect those thoughts. Even though externally the actions were showing I was better than I once was, internally it wasn't aligning, it wasn't matching with what I was doing externally. So when I got into my mid 30s and, you know, my star started to rise in our industry and, you know, I had a great role with a company, old habits started to surface. Okay. And the inner dialogue got stronger and stronger. And so now there's these two people again fighting back and forth. The guy building that nobody in the company knew, you know, was struggling internally with self-esteem and self-worth and all of that stuff, right? To some, it was like, Amir's fucking loads of fun. Man, that guy's hilarious. But internally, it was just, it was chaos for me, you know?
But what made that shift when you started the new job and you started having that peak again? What was really going on? Like, I'm really curious to know.
So
why did it resurface out of nowhere?
So when the fun stopped again and got into the real life, the rigors of day-to-day, you know, hardships and letdowns and disappointment, even betrayals, I started to see things that I felt at 20, like people just betray you, you know? I felt betrayed by people. I felt so angry. And then the circumstances were just like repeat patterns, like things were not going in the direction I wanted them to go or I hoped they would go. There were certain passion projects I was working on that just weren't going anywhere. And then that dialogue started again. See,
Interesting.
It's never going to happen for you. It's not, you might as well stop trying, you know? So then I started to internalize and think it is me, you know, like I'm an imposter. I'm not smart, you know? So I started to feel the imposter syndrome. And so all these negative things swirling. So then I ended up stuck in a world of just, I didn't think it was going to happen for me, you know? And now I'm married. I have a kid, you know, all of this.
Now you have to pick a fence.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, my ex, she knew my internal struggles. She saw it and it was heartbreaking for her. And, you know, Diane and I are great now, but we both struggled with each other, you know, and
You must have been a fucking handful, that's for sure.
I was chaos. I was chaos. And she grew up in a very loving, nurturing home, like a wonderful environment, great parents, all of that stuff. I was a fucking cowboy, like an absolute cowboy.
Literally.
You know, fucking I was, man. I'd run into gunfights, not even knowing if I had bullets.
That's
you know, like, just fuck it, let's go. You know, and so
Fuck it, we'll have an alternative.
exactly. I'll club them, whatever. You know, so she used to say, you know, you can't will your way through life. It's going to catch you. It's going to get you. And I would do it. I would burn the candle at both ends, and I would go to bed at 3 a.m, wake up at 6, be with my kid, get her ready for school, drop her off at school, and then that cycle just on and on. And all the while being in it all, not fully understanding, why am I here again? Like, why is this happening to me again? I could never understand it. And this time it was worse because there was more at stake. I had more to lose.
Interesting.
You know? And I was terrified because I couldn't break the cycle. I was trying, but I couldn't, you know? I ended up in hospital, you know, before the surgeries, and which was a very life-threatening experience for me. I had ended up in hospital 2 years before that because of my lifestyle, and it didn't scare me.
That wasn't the liver thing, was it?
No, the first time was my pancreas. Pancreatitis. You know, it's a painful thing, man. It's like someone sticking a sword through you. So
I don't want it. That's for sure.
It is awful, absolutely awful. So that put me in hospital, and wasn't enough to scare me. stopped for about a month, maybe 2, and then started again, In the end, marriage crumbled for many reasons, and went off onto my own. And it was tough because my daughter is my best friend, my whole world. And I felt so sick over everything. And even knowing how much I love this kid, because I thought when she was born, it's going to change. Life's going to change. The love's going to be enough to get me to change, and it wasn't. And it was more devastating. And I fell more into despair because I thought maybe this is it, Got out on my own, and I met my current partner, Dana. And I do believe in my heart completely God put this woman in my life. She saved my life.
Wow.
Yeah. Dana was...
I hope you listen to this, Dana, because, that's a big statement for somebody.
She knows, man. There's not a day that goes by where I don't tell her how much I love her and what she means to me. This woman embodies what a true partner is, what it means to be like a partnership. The support, the love.
Talk to me about the support part, man.
So
there's a lot of guys that are in relationships that actually don't even know what real support look like.
Oh, yeah, I see a lot of it too, and it's sad. The support is no judgment. When I had my setbacks with her, with booze and stuff, she never judged me. Never. She would see on my face when I'd come home when I felt low about getting all fucking wankered. And she would just say, "It's okay, baby. It's okay. Just come lie down."
Wow.
And I'd lie there and my head would be in her lap and there she is just doing this. It's okay.
It's very comforting.
It's okay. Didn't make me feel worse. And so I knew that, Dana herself had been through a lot in her life. Like she lost her father. I think he died when she was 21. Lebs, man, they're tight family. Tight. And her siblings, they're very close. Father was a magical man. Magical. All right. Like just a light of life who had a fate that he didn't deserve.
How did he pass?
He died various reasons. It was like a 10-year decline, like a slow death. Man,
oh, wow.
It was awful. Stroke, Parkinson's, like just awful stuff.
Wow.
His last year of his life, he was cognitive, but couldn't use his body. No function. Maybe squeeze the hand. Up here, all there. But the rest, not.
Sucks.
And here's a girl who was working multiple jobs and put herself through university while her father's decaying and dying, like she'd been through it, and there's kind of two kinds of people, in this life. There's those that circumstances like that would have sent them on a spiral, boys, booze, drugs, or used it as fuel to find something else in life. And Dana chose the path of faith, she's really rooted in faith.
Very good.
And so here's me now, a successful guy to the world, but inside a fucking shit show, looking at this person who has committed her life to me, loves me no matter what.
Jason Bond right in front of you.
Yeah, she's in it.
Or Jason Bourne, sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. And here's this woman that I looked at and I knew she'll go down with the ship. No matter how bad it gets for me, she'll go down with the ship.
Fuck, that's
and I
bold.
can't do that. I cannot do this to her. I can't. I got to fucking fix my shit. I got to do something. There's no way I'm doing this to her. She's been through enough in life. I've got this little girl. I got to fix my shit. So what is it? Why am I here? Why did this happen? And then this is when I realized, when it hit me, I never fixed the internal. I never got into the roots of my problems. Okay, so it's time to get into the root. It's time to start pulling at it and figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And the universe works in mysterious ways. All right. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I'm sure you've heard that quote, and it is so fucking true. The moment I decided I was all in on fixing myself, a lineup formed of just the right people. And it started with a fitness coach. Okay. Like my body was in rough shape. My hips were fucked. My back was fucked. Regardless of being a shit show at times, I still went to the gym and worked out and did all that. But that had to stop because I was in so much pain. My body was just holding on to so much shit that it just all went to shit.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah. So I go see this guy, Dan, an amazing fitness coach. I mean, the guy's knowledge is next level. All right. And he's a like-minded thinker. You know, during COVID, he was like, fuck these people, you know, just
Fuck 'em.
Oh, fuck him. You know, he's just a like-minded guy. Right. So someone told me about Dan and I thought, I've already tried all kinds of people. You know, I'm at a point where, all right, I'll go do one more visit with somebody. So I walk in and he could see as soon as I walked in, he'll tell you, he goes, so you were all kinds of fucked up. I could see the hunch, the hips are deformed. And he said, I'll fix you. I promise you, I will get your body in a place where you can get back to working out. And I went, yeah, all right, I'll give you a try. And sure enough, within 2 months, I was able to be more pain-free and mobile and get moving. And we were able to start developing consistency in our workouts. But there was still the issue with booze. You know, it was.
Oh, that was still prevalent?
That was still prevalent. Because, yes, physically you're working out, but there's still the emotional stuff that you're not dealing with. And then I met this woman called Ramona, Romanian woman. And this is where it all started. Like, this is where life just really changed, man. So ironically enough, I was at a gun range with a buddy who is like a raging alpha male. He was a huge freedom fighter guy, you know, gave zero fucks.
Yeah.
Okay? Just a raging bull.
And this guy's Top Gun, eh?
Travis is just a gem of a human being, just a good man. You know, he stood up because of what happened to his son. There was an incident at the school with the mask and all kinds of shit. He went, fuck this, and he went to war.
What the fuck? I want to hear this story here.
Yeah, basically they made his son wear a mask and forced him to do laps around the gym because he didn't wear a mask. And so he couldn't breathe through it. And they kept making him run, imagine. And then he collapsed.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, man, Travis blew a fucking gasket and was like, no way. Not
Good for him, man.
So that's it. He went head to head with the system in many different ways. He was different. He wasn't a battleship out in the open. He was in the background organizing.
He was a fucking submarine, bro.
He was, absolutely. And anyways, I met Travis through all this stuff. And then anyways, we're at a gun range. And we openly talked about like our trauma and stuff we went through as kids because he dealt with a lot of stuff. And so he goes, you know, there we are with fucking, you know, at the range firing away. He goes, listen, man, I want to talk to you about something. I said, what's up? He's like, I think there's someone you should go talk to. I go, all right. He goes, her name's Ramona. And he goes, it's hokey. It's really hokey, man, but it works. So I said, like, what's hokey mean? Right? He goes, buddy, the first 2-3 sessions, I thought this woman was fucking mad. And I was thinking, why am I here? Like, this isn't, like, why am I here? Right? And he goes, but by session 4, session 5, something changed. Her shit works. So all I can say is go see her, go talk to her. Her methods are just different. It's not talk therapy. It's just something different. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. What do I have to lose at this point? I just know I need to do something, and it's got to be something drastic, right?
Yeah.
So I do. I go and I see her and sit in front of her, and one of the first things she says to me is, don't waste my fucking time.
Oh, what a gangster.
Yeah.
She's about to start getting real busy right now.
Yeah. And for me, I love people like that because they don't mince words. I don't need to figure you out like a Rubik's Cube. Like, who is this person? No, she was just, don't fucking waste my time. I love it. Perfect. There's our starting point.
Done.
Right?
Done.
So,
I love it.
And, you know, it wasn't from a place of arrogance or anything. She just knew there's people she can help with what she does. Don't take a space that someone else could use, right? Because she only has so much time, right?
For sure.
So I said, okay, I'm in. I'm all in. What do I do? She goes, well, you got to quit the substances because I need your head clear. in order for this to work. I need your body clear in order for this to work. So I said, well, what is this? What is this? Right? We still don't know what this
How the
is.
fuck you say I'm all in and not even know what this is?
Right? So, again, don't let fear dictate your path, right? So I'm all in. Whatever it is, I'm all in. Okay. I just know that I can't live the way I'm living anymore. I won't see 50. All right. So what is it? What are we doing? What is this? So it's something called holographic memory resolution. All right. And it traces your trauma through your body's current state of things you feel, your aches, your pains, your illnesses. All of it is linked to trauma. All right. Your body is energy. All right. Energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. So it's all about what you've expended as energy or what you've suppressed and held on to. All right. So as an adult, if I punch you, you're going to punch me back. It's game on. Let's fucking go. Right. You've expended the energy. All right. If I yell at you, you yell back. Expended the energy. As a kid, when you're being beat and slapped and yelled at, all of those horrible things, you hold it because you don't know. You don't know at 4 years old or 8 years old or 12 years old how to release it.
Yeah.
How to understand that, you know what, this isn't me. This is just my dad. He's fucked up.
Yeah.
No, at 6 years old, there's something wrong with me. If my dad's this angry and hitting me all the time, I must be a rotten child, right? So you suppress it all. You hold it all. So what happens is, again, energy cannot be destroyed. It's in you, all right? And while it's in you, it's burrowed away, and it's just this negative charge that's deep down inside you. So there are studies that directly link childhood trauma to autoimmune disorders and cancer.
Wow.
All right?
It was that deep.
That deep, absolutely. So she said to me, she goes, we're going to get to the root of your stuff. So talk to me about some of your issues. And I said, well, some of my issues are alcohol and a bit of blow.
Give me
and
a water bottle, please, bro.
a bit of some harder stuff, anger, anxiety.
Fuck, you got me ramped up into that. I'm like zoned in on this.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I said just a lot of negative stuff, hyperfixations, all that type of stuff. She said,
Is ADHD a part of that?
yes, it is. 100%.
Fucking knew it.
So ADHD is the theory behind all of this has to do with survival mode. The reason your mind is hyperactive and bouncing around all the time is because you are never safe to be still. Okay? So your subconscious and your nervous system is firing.
Thanks, brother.
It's firing all the time. It's a survival mechanism. This is why it's bouncing. Your thoughts bounce all over the place. Okay, it is 100% related to childhood trauma. All right. So I started to understand because I was fucking all over the place.
I'm still all over the place.
Oh yeah. Ask Janet. When she's talking to me, all of a sudden she's like, babe. I'm like, yeah. She's like, it took 30 seconds and I lost you. I'm like, sorry, And so she says, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this all to the surface. We're going to get in there. We're going to get behind your anxiety. We're going to get behind your anger. We're going to get behind the feelings of depression. All of these things are just rooted energy in you. Okay, yeah. These are words the medical industry just uses. They're just fucking symptoms. Anxiety is a fucking symptom. Depression is a symptom. All right, all of these things are just fucking symptoms. There are root causes, and we're going to find them and get to them. So,
finally, a real doctor, eh?
Oh, buddy. So I looked at her. I said, well, what is this going to look like? What can I expect? She goes, everybody's different. What I can tell you is you will get sick. You're going to experience pain. When the energy is stirred and it comes to the surface, it doesn't come peacefully. It comes angry. All right? You've just disturbed something that is now fucking crazy. Coming to the surface, and it's going to come to the surface with problems. Give me an idea.
Sounds like a fucking poltergeist, something coming out.
Like exorcism.
Holy
like,
fuck.
Yeah, I was like, is this what's going to happen to me in a fucking meeting? I'm just all of a sudden start spinning green. And so,
Emily Rose on the screen, buddy.
So we started the first session. So how it works is we started with the pancreas, right? Because we knew I had some pancreas stuff, right? So You get into a meditative state. So eyes closed. You're just basically listening to her words. Clear your head. So she goes through a series of stuff to get you cleared in your thought and to be present with where you are.
Okay.
And again, I'm thinking this is hokey, but whatever. I'll write it out. Okay.
I fucking would have felt the same way.
Yeah. But I'm like, again, I'm all in, whatever it is. And she goes, okay, so when you were hit with pancreatitis, where did you feel it? And so your subconscious starts bringing up the answers. You don't search for the answers. You don't sit there, just let it come. Just let it naturally come,
Mm-hmm.
all right? So where do you feel it? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I felt it here, all right? What does it look like? Does it have a shape, color, all of it? And then you're just like, yeah, it's a square. It's red. It feels hot. It's very heavy. Okay, how old were you when you first felt that feeling? And then, boom, a number comes up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, oh, 6. Where were you? Oh, shit. My dad was hitting me, and all the memories start to come up, all right? Your subconscious just starts to release what it feels ready to release. There was shit that came up I had no memory of. Like, I never even thought of it. And then through these exercises, they just started to pile up. So the first number of sessions were strictly working on the pancreas. And what happened? 2 months in, my eyes started to go blurry. I started to develop like this never-ending, insatiable appetite for water. I was just thirsty, constantly thirsty. Dan and I were in Yorkville for a weekend. It's like Sunday now. We're leaving the hotel. I can't fucking see the street signs. Like I had like Hawkeyes before. I could fucking read a book 2 kilometers away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, babe, I can't see.
The sniper.
Yeah, I can't see the street signs. She's like, oh, did you maybe get soap in your eyes or something? I'm like, I don't think so. And it lasted for a few days. And things just started to get worse. I go see the doctor. He sends me to get some blood work. Calls me and goes, Amir, your sugars are at like 34.
The fuck does that mean?
Oh, fucking diabetes.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to be at like a 7.
Really?
So, yeah, man. He's like, you're at a 34. Sorry, can I give you my phone to get rid of that? My apologies.
No worries.
How dare people try to reach me on a work
Fucking
day?
assholes.
On a
What's
fucking
going
work
on
day.
with you people,
On a
man? We're
fucking
busy.
work day. So he's like, Amir, you have diabetes. I'm like, how's that possible, man? He goes, oh, I don't know. So he goes, you got to go right away. You got to get some insulin. And we started going through all this. So I go see a specialist. The specialist sat there looking at his laptop, looking up at me. He's like, I don't get it. You have type 1. Type 1, you don't get. You're born with it. And I'm just...
Well, what's the difference? I've heard of type 1 and 2, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
One insulin resistance, the other one you have 0 at all.
Yeah. So the type 2 is usually developed through diet and, life choices, right? Which would have sounded more normal for me. Even though, I was still thin. I wasn't a terrible eater. Heavy drinker, but not a terrible eater. So he goes, you have type 1 diabetes. And I'm like, how the fuck do I have type 1 diabetes? He was stumped, absolutely stumped. So I go and I have another session with Ramona, and she's like, listen, we're going to clear that out. We just started to fuck with your pancreas.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm still in disbelief, right? I'm still not totally buying into this stuff. Like, changes are happening with me, but I'm still not understanding what's happening, right? I just figured it happened because I was fucking beating my body up with booze, And she's like, no, I'm telling you, this is just your pancreas stores anger and resentment. All right. So this is like Chinese philosophy, Chinese medicine. Your organs store different emotions, right? So she says, we're going to keep working at drawing out all of the memories out of your pancreas. We're going to keep pulling on these things. So now we're 3 months in, still working away. I started to get hit with a level of exhaustion I could not describe to you. All right. I was so tired that I never slept through the night. I was never somebody who had peaceful sleep through the night, and I'll get to that as to what I learned with that, because it would take me almost an hour to fall asleep, I'd wake up at least 2-3 times a night. And then,
I still do that.
yeah, there's a lot of root causes for stuff like that. So I was used to it. I didn't need a lot of sleep. I was a high energy guy, so it wasn't a big deal. And I never thought about why I had the issues. But anyways, I'm now sleeping 8 hours. Like I hit the pillow. As soon as my head touches, I'm out.
That's a fucking dream.
Out, yes. And Dana was sit there like, I cannot believe how fast you're out, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I finished, night, babe, right?
That's
like
a dream.
switch. When I would wake up and, go through my routine in the morning and then start working, but after about 2-3 hours, I'm just exhausted. Like my eyes are burning. I can't keep my head up. I would go to the couch. This is like, you're in your workday, man, and running a business and all this shit. And I'd be like, babe, I can't keep myself up. Like I got to go nap. So I would go. And when I would nap, I'd be in a 2-hour coma. Just
Holy
out,
fuck.
dead to the world, buddy. You could fucking run a parade through my home. I'm not budging. And then when I finally wake up, it's almost like you were under sedation. Like you're fighting to open your eyes. You're fighting to get yourself up. And then when you do, you're like, I got to go jump in a cold shower because I got to either a Zoom or I got to get to a site or something. All right. So and this was now every day. And I don't know what's happening. Like I just don't feel well. All right. And she's telling me, listen, we're touching on something. Let's just stay with me. Just stay with me. So we keep pulling on these emotional threads. All right. The pancreas. Then we got into the appendix because my appendix ruptured. Well, our appendix is where you store control. I had massive control issues. All right. Why? People with control issues, it's a coping mechanism or a way to control your environment to feel safe because you never felt safe. All right.
That's interesting.
That's where control comes in. You want to control your environment because it's the only way you feel safe. Right. So my control issues were not public. I knew how to keep it under control internally. So I knew how to keep the control under control, which was my control.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Is that why it burst?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I had issues, man. So now we're working through this. So the exhaustion levels are just so bad, man. They're fucking bad. I had days where I'm crying because I'm like, this is just, I can't function like this. I don't know what's happening with me. Now I'm beating myself up because like, you're lazy. Like, what are you doing sleeping, man? You got work to do. And there's Dana like, honey, just listen to your body. Let it do what it needs to do.
What a saint.
She was like, baby, just stop, breathe, let your body do what it's asking for. Just let it be. Right. And, man, then the real stuff started. I all of a sudden one day just had to go to the bathroom like uncontrollably, like 10 times. It was like 10 times a day.
Talking about number 2.
Yeah, uncontrollably. Like, not to get graphic, buddy, but it was like fucking mudslides. Like,
Amazing.
It was awful. Okay. I thought maybe at first I ate something or whatever, but now you mix in the exhaustion. Now you've got this, throw in dehydration. I lost 30 pounds. I looked sick. I was pale.
Holy shit.
My ex-wife, like one day I was dropping the kids. She's like, Amir, you look like you have cancer. Like, what is going on with you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just working through some stuff. Like, it was really low. All right. This was, again, remember when she said to me, like, we're going to pull on the roots. We're going to stir up the energy. Things are going to come up to the surface and you're going to get sick. Well, this is what's happening. All right. Now I think I'm going fucking crazy. All right. Something's wrong with me. I'm not functioning well. I don't know what's going on. I'm fucking terrified. Simultaneously, I have completely changed my diet to a point of such strict measures. Like I went pure raw just for a month just to detox, right? So just pure raw, and then incorporated meat back in, but very clean anyways. So my life was now chaos. I've completely turned this whole cowboy upside down into something entirely different.
What a fucking shit show.
And it was literally and figuratively. So it got really bad. I couldn't control the bowel movements. So if I wasn't near a bathroom, I was fucked.
How long did that last for?
6 months.
What?
It was the worst 6 months of my life.
That's
Okay.
nuts.
While being the best 6 months of my life. We were clearing a lot of pain, man. Like I knew internally I had struggles until I actually sat and faced it all. I didn't realize how bad it was. It was fucked. So here I am now shitting myself, like literally shitting myself. I would be in a meeting on my way to the next meeting and I couldn't make it.
That's the fucking worst.
Imagine being a fucking full-grown man in your car soiling yourself. And
Oh, legit?
legit.
Whoa.
I would have to cancel, make something up.
Because you can't tell him I just shot my pants. That's for
I'm
sure.
driving home. It was different emotions, every time. I was either furious and punching my fucking steering wheel. I was so mad. Or I was screaming in my car. Or I was sobbing.
That's crazy.
And I would call Dana. And she'd be like, hey, honey. I'm like, babe, like it happened again. And she's like, honey, it's okay. It's okay. Just get home. Just get home, baby. And I come home and I get through the door and there she is. It's okay. She'd like grab onto me. She already had my clothes laid out.
Jeez.
And everything ready for me to get to my next meeting. She just knew, it's okay, let's go. And I'd get in there and I'd get cleaned up and take a shower. She took my clothes. I grabbed the new clothes and there she was. Let's go, babe, let's go.
Wow.
And I'd get out the door and go to my next meeting. And no one had a fucking clue. You walk into a room with people who are living their lives normally. I've just come back from a 100-kilometer dash in my car with shit in me because I had to spend 30 minutes to drive home, shower 30 minutes to come back to where I was already. And it was a battle for 6 months. And I didn't know at first when it started what it was. I went to the doctor and he's like, you either have Crohn's or colitis. And I'm sorry to tell you, there's no cure for this. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're telling me this is my life? Like, this is my fucking life? And now you're going through I did this to myself. I did it with the booze and all the bullshit. What was I thinking? And I'm angry at myself and I'm mad at myself and all this stuff. And I sit with Ramona and she goes, stop. That is not what's happening. Don't touch a single pill. Don't take anything. Don't touch a steroid. None of the stuff they're giving you. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I said, but I can't live like this. And she's like, you have a lot of repressed stuff inside you. The exhaustion you're feeling is your nervous system has finally calmed down. You've lived in a state of hypervigilance your whole life. Your whole life you've been on guard. Your nervous system.
She was able to tell all that?
Yeah. And it was normal because when I started to talk to other people who've been through what I went through, when I started talking about it, they're like, yep.
Yo, Ramona, you taking patients?
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a run for your money.
My therapist needs therapy. Fuck. She's seeing a therapist now.
You, holy smoke.
So she said, listen, we're going to find it and it's going to stop, I promise you, but let your body do what it needs to do. It's just, they call it shedding. It's just shedding. It happens in different ways. Some people just throw up constantly. Your body's releasing the toxins and the energy that you have stored inside you that your body no longer wants. Okay? So for me, it was just the other end and it was constant. Okay?
That's crazy.
So now our sessions had to divert to focusing on this specifically. So we had to put everything else aside. So it was a lot of sessions for 6 months, buddy, every week. Okay?
How long are the sessions?
An hour. So it was an hour every week, every Saturday, an hour. So you go through that meditative state, close your eyes. Okay, when you feel colitis, where do you feel it? Oh, I feel it here. What size, shape, blah, 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 blah. How old were you? And then you go through the series of what happened, where it happened, who was involved, and then you basically have to reframe it. Okay, so all of these memories, when you find them,
Yeah.
you have to change the neurological pathway to it, and what was stored in your nervous system linked to that memory. You change the memory, you change how it's wired in your nervous system.
Does it feel natural when you do that, or does it feel forced?
It's at first it felt weird, because it is weird being a fucking, at the time 44-year-old man and hearing someone's like, go to your safe place now. And
Buddy, this whole conversation to me is fucking, I'm out of my safe place. Holy fuck.
But it's so when you reframe the circumstance. So, okay, let's say it's a situation where, all right, perfect example. I'm sleeping. My dad used to beat me in my sleep. He'd come into the room and just fucking start wailing on me. Okay, so you're 6 years old or 8 years old or 10 years old. You're waking up to somebody just fucking slapping you, right? So you have that memory. She says, freeze it. Now let's change it. Okay, it could be whatever you want it to be.
How the fuck do you change that?
Well, you imagine it.
Interesting.
So you imagine the feeling of, okay, dad now comes into the room and just gives you a kiss and says, good night, I love you, son. Well, you instantly feel something different from that emotion, all right? And what that does is it does something in your nervous system. It changes that pathway, all right? So there's far more steps to this. And then she'll ask you, now, what color do you associate with the change? And then a color comes to mind. So you say yellow. And you're like, what the fuck does yellow mean? Like, what's yellow? She's like, yellow is rewiring your pathway. It's rewiring your nervous system. Green, purple, pink, white. All these colors have a significance to them. So when we were working through a lot of these different processes, different colors came to mind, and these colors just suited what its purpose was. It was fucking wild.
This is the coolest shit I'm hearing.
It was the best experience of my life, and it was changing my life. It was changing. We were now rewiring my default settings, all right? Like reprogramming my nervous system that spent its entire life in fight flight, all right? Because that's all I knew. In my house, I didn't know when I was going to get the shit kicked out of me. So you were on your fucking toes all the time. I had this ability when I'm in a room somewhere, I didn't realize where this came from or what the fuck. But you joke about Jason Bourne. I was able to sit in a room, look at you, and at the same time while looking at you, I know everything that's happening
around you.
Around me.
That's fucked up.
Everything.
I thought I was just like abnormal.
Nope. I know. Why? Because my subconscious is on guard.
Fuck, I feel like I'm going through a session with you right now.
Yeah, exactly. And when I tell this story, it's intense, it's real. I do notice when people get really captured in, because I know people are dealing with shit. People have been through shit, all right? And everyone wants a way to figure out how to fix it, but nobody knows how to. So when I start talking about this stuff, it's just different from talk therapy and fucking antidepressant pills and anti-anxiety pills and all the stuff they medicate you with that just masks the problem. You're not dealing with the problem. It's all still there inside you. I was now dealing with it. They say, feel it to heal it. So now you got to sit in it all. And
So hearing the story sitting in this chair, just to me, it's like, it's holy fuck. It just sounds like a whole lot of conspiracy shit.
It does.
And then you're like, holy fuck, I did it myself.
I did it myself. If you were telling me this, listen, I don't judge anybody, and I believe that whatever people experience is your experience, and
Absolutely.
But in my mind, I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, it just sounds. I'm just trying to imagine vividly if I were you in that chair for the first time.
So
I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is where it all really started to click. Okay.
Like, this is a Kaleidos point we're still dealing with?
And we're still dealing
I don't want you to skip this fucking story.
No. This is where it all really started to sink in that this is real. All right. So 6 months of this stuff. Basically, I now understood through this whole process all of my issues, all of them, my control issues, my fear of rejection, my codependencies. I thought codependent was, you need to have a girlfriend and you need to live with someone, or because I was always like a loner. I'm like, how am I codependent? I'm my own guy.
Yeah.
No, I was a people pleaser. All right. Always wanted to make sure everyone was okay. Are you okay, man? You're good. Oh, here's what I could do for you. It was more of, I want your approval. I never fucking realized I was like this, She took all of this ball of issues I had inside me and fucking pulled it all apart so that I could see it all individually. All right. And we'll get to the ayahuasca part and why this is so important.
Take your fucking time. No rush, nothing.
So
I'm getting free healing.
She's, now I understand, why I'm going to the bathroom all the time, why I'm exhausted, all of this stuff. My body is now actually healing itself. It's doing its thing. All right. I just had to be patient with it, which was not easy, was hard. I mean, you're a full grown man in the car with your wife or your partner and you're shitting yourself while she's fucking right next to me.
No, it is.
It was fucking awful. Yeah. Absolutely awful. Yeah. And I would sit there angry and I'd have like a tear come down and she would just sit there quiet because she knew like, okay, just let him be right now, and once in a while.
She's fucking awesome, bro.
She is. She's a different.
Do you have cousins that are single, man?
Not
for me at this point.
She is a different person. And again, I go back to God put this person in my life. There's no question about it. None. Zero for me. This is all very real now. And now I fully understand how the world works with respects to energy and who and what we are and what makes us who we are. Anyways, I'm now 6 months into this issue, all right? And we now have a session, and it was the last day. Actually, Dana and I talked about it on our way up here. June 15th was the last time I had to run to the bathroom. All right. Ramona and I finished the session, and I'm like, internally something felt different. It was different. So in this session, we found 3 memories of shame in and around my colon area. All right. So I totally forgot about these things as a kid. All right. I mean, it's strange. I was a kid killing frogs. All right. I was at a pond. And I used to go there, loads of frogs, and I used to just drop big rocks on them. At 10 years old, just fucking die, fucker, die, And I always felt guilty about it, always, And I was sitting there telling her about this, and I'm like, I feel so guilty. I was a kid. She's like, sweetheart, as a child, you don't know how to expend your anger.
Yeah.
Like things that were done to you were really bad. So as children, you don't know. So, anyways, we worked on the shame part of this all. And, 24 hours goes by. I'm like, I feel different. Something's different. I didn't have an episode in the bathroom at all. I didn't say anything yet because I was petrified that I was going to jinx myself, that I was going to say the words.
And then here we go.
There we go. 48 hours goes by, and I told Dana, I'm like, babe, something's different. She's like, what's up? I said, I haven't had to run to the bathroom. Like, it's been 2 days. She's like, oh my God. Okay, baby, maybe it's gone. Like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty scared, A week goes by, and I was normal. And I get into a session.
Incredible, man.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, remember, the doctor said this is with me for life. I would need steroids and pills. I never touched a single thing. So I sit with her, and I said, Ramona, it's gone. She's like, what do you mean? I said, it's been a week. I'm normal. I haven't had to run to the bathroom. She's like, we did it. We cleared it. And I was just, man, the euphoria I felt was.
But you started crying right there, eh?
I did. Yeah, it was.
I feel like crying for you after that, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm now going to get like my life back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was wild because I learned so much about myself during this period too. Keep in mind, like I was growing my business and all of this stuff, man, during this nightmare, right? So I learned a lot about my character and my will and my ability to push myself through stuff, So now it's, I've got this trip to Peru, ayahuasca, the big trip. All right.
Oh, here we are. We're coming in.
Yeah, we're coming to it,
Okay.
buddy. All right. So I was worried about the trip because of the bowel movements. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, how is this going to work? You know? And it cleared. So now I have still the diabetes I'm working with. All right. I have to take insulin now because my sugars were fucking insane. All right.
Oh, so the diabetes stuck around.
It stuck around. Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a trigger from the response from the.
Nope. We had to.
So how the fuck did that make sense? Because you said it was a type 1.
Well, it is type 1. So I was still on the insulin and the pills. So we moved the attention from that onto the colitis to figure that part out. All right. Now we're done with this. Now we can start to go back to dealing with the rest of it. All right. So I have this trip booked to Peru with Dana, and I had to, most places won't take a diabetic in to do ayahuasca because who knows what'll happen, right? With your sugars.
Too much liabilities.
Okay? So we found a place, a very reputable place. And you have to be, when it comes to ayahuasca, I cannot stress this enough. You need to do your research. All right. You know, when you go to Mexico, man, you walk the fucking streets and they're like, hey, you want to go fishing? Hey, you want to go here? You want to go here? There's just people selling you all kinds of shit. They do that with ayahuasca. All right. But these places you go to, they're like hole in the wall places. Like, this is a very serious thing you take. This is a very intense psychedelic. And if you are not in a proper environment, you could be fucked for life.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, 100%. So the place we were going to was very thorough in their evaluations. They wanted a letter from your doctor, or their doctor was going to do a test on you.
Like a physical or a psych?
Well, physical. I had to disclose that I was diabetic. I had to disclose my medication. They told me, we will take you. However, I think it was 3 weeks prior to coming, you have to be off everything. You can't be on any of it. And I said to Dan, I'm like, what am I going to do, babe? Like, I get off this stuff, my sugars are going to spike, because they wanted a test. This test had to show, I think it was like a 3-month test leading to the experience that my sugars were below 7.
Okay.
How the fuck do you do that if you're off the meds?
Yeah.
So now my stress is through the fucking roof. I'm nervous that I'm not going to be able to do this. Again, emotional reaction to something. My sugars were like fucking 15s and 16s. I was pumping 22 units into me like fucking heroin. Like fucking give it to me.
Holy fuck!
Just give it to me.
Jeez,
you
man.
know?
I'm like, oh, we're even using units?
And it wasn't dropping. Now, I was lucky that my 3 months, so the average over 3 months was low, below their threshold.
Okay.
So the numbers that were high leading, a couple of weeks into the trip didn't impact my threshold. But I still had to get tested the day before the ayahuasca experience. So if I don't show a 6 reading, they say, no, you don't get to go. And I've just spent all this money to go to Peru. So Dan and I are like, what do we do? Do we go? Do we not go? Do we wait another period?
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, remember when I told you I stopped drinking for 11 months? Well, leading into this period, I started drinking. All right. I was fucking stressed out. I was angry. It was all this shit. And I started to go back to fucking booze. And now here's Dana going, what are you doing? Like, we're so close, honey. We're so close. But she just supported me. She was riding it out with me. She didn't come down on me. She didn't abuse me. She didn't do any of it.
She has a single cousin somewhere, right?
Yeah, she probably does, man. Everyone in her family's good looking too, by the way. So
You're going to get me in trouble.
yeah. And they're all the same kind of people. They're all beautiful, beautiful souls, all of them. And so now we made the choice. We're going to do it. We're going to go and we'll figure it out. And I'm stressed, man. Like, I was doing 2-a-day workouts to try to bring the sugars down. I'm fasting and my sugars are still reading 12, 14. Like, this is just beyond fucking science. There's how are you reading this high when you're not even eating?
Yeah, I
You
would have
know?
been frustrated too.
It was very frustrating. So we get there. We get into Cusco. Beautiful, beautiful place. So it was.
What is that, like an area in Peru?
Yeah, it's an area in Peru.
Okay.
Cusco is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. High elevation, like high altitude. So you're breathing heavy, walking around. Like it was wild. So I'm now 2 days before my physical, and I'm still reading high.
Yeah.
And we're walking all day, like 8 hours in high altitude, breathing heavy, sweating, inclines, all this stuff, and my sugars are still high.
And you're like, what the fuck?
What do I do? I don't know what to do. And she, Dana's telling me like, honey, you got to try to find a way to calm yourself. And I'm like, I'm trying, man. We go hit Machu Picchu the day before, it was the day before. 2 days before. And we get to the top. Buddy, the peace that hit me when I got up there, I've never felt.
It's amazing.
The whole world went away. Every worry, every problem, every bullshit issue disappeared. It was gone. And all I felt was the peace in the air up there. It was so quiet.
That's crazy.
I panned and looked, and it was just stunning. Like stunning. I don't fucking get emotional when I see beautiful things, okay? It's just not me. I sit there and I just start to cry, and I don't understand what's happening. I'm just looking at this beauty, and I'm just like my breath was taken away. It was just so beautiful and
call
so
Ramona?
peaceful. What's that?
Did you call Ramona right there and then?
No. Dana turns around. She's like, baby. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. Just let it out. And I sit there and I had a little cry, and then we just kept walking and just taking it all in. We get back to the hotel. Took my test, 6. The next morning, we go. The morning of, fucking 6.
Amazing.
The peace from that just sucked it all out of me.
That's amazing.
And it was just so meant to be. Like, it just all felt so meant to be. And so anyways, we went, and it was a 2-hour drive from Cusco. So you're going through mountains, which were very picturesque and beautiful. And then we get there, and then comes the entertainment. Man, buddy, what a fucking experience.
Oh, here we are now?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we are. So why is everything I told you important to this? The misconception with ayahuasca is that it's a fix-it solution. Ayahuasca does not fix you, all right? It's a tool in a toolkit of how to heal yourself, but it is not a fix-it solution. There are people that will do fucking 20 or 30 ayahuascas. You're not doing it properly if you need to hit it 20, 30 times, okay? What they get stuck on is you feel this euphoria for weeks, sometimes months after. And then when you fall back into your life, for some, they feel empty and hollow and sad and depressed, and they get back into their booze and blow and bullshit.
So they're right back to where they started.
And they're right back into the misery, and then they go back to ayahuasca to fix the misery. But what they're not understanding is the part as to why they're falling back into the self-destructive behaviors. You need to understand that before you go do something like this, all right? I was at a point now where I fully understood. I fully understood why I sabotaged myself. I fully understood all my issues, my coping needs, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, Ramona took the ball of issues and spread it all apart for me, and I saw it all very clearly. So when you go do ayahuasca, you have to be very clear on your intentions, what you want to see and experience during this. Because when you fully understand what your intentions are, you will understand the visions, the emotions, and all of the things that start coming to the surface.
No fucking visions.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll let you keep going with the story.
Yeah, so we get there, and it was such a cool experience. So it was supposed to be 2 nights, 2 ayahuasca ceremonies. So, you're laying around during the day, very nervous, it's anticipation. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Dana and I are both quiet. We're not saying very much. There's a lot of nervous energy. Now, I've done enough fucking drugs in my life. So, for me, it was like, whatever it is, I'll be fine.
Bob's your uncle.
Dana's never done a drug in her life.
She's like me.
And now she's hitting the highest high you can ever have in your life. So she didn't fucking go, through the stages in life like I did. This woman went from never touching a drug in her life to doing fucking DMT. All right. Like the highest of highs you can have. And so she's really nervous, right? And her whole family's like, wait, you're doing ayahuasca? Like, how did Amir get you to do ayahuasca?
Oh, they fucking hated you at this
No,
point.
they loved it because Dana can struggle sometimes getting out of her comfort zone. I challenge her comfort zone. This is what I bring to her.
That's crazy.
She brings into my life peace and serenity, for a guy who's fucking cowboy and all over the place.
And you bring the noise.
And I bring the fucking noise, baby. I bring the speakers.
Literally.
I bring the fucking sound system. I bring the noise, So challenging her is my role in her life too. And she did this not because Dana needs to be fixed. Dana was very rooted or is very rooted in peace. She did this for me. She came to support me, which is
She got high as fuck.
She got high as balls, buddy. Like she tripped balls. It was hilarious. And so they talk to you about what to expect. So this place has a real shaman.
So tell me all about this, by the way. I don't understand this stuff.
So it's with a shaman, the whole experience. Okay, so what they do, these used to be done in the jungles in Peru. There are tribes that do this stuff, all right? But, over time they realized, I think, we could build like a resort and bring these shamans from their tribes and bring them into the resorts and we'll attract more people that way, right?
A businessman.
100%, right? And you're not fighting snakes and bugs and the rest of that stuff in the jungles.
Well, it's anaconda in your ass,
Yeah,
You're trying to
why
get
not,
high
right?
as fuck,
Yeah. So the experience is, first you meet with one shaman who talks to you about it's like tea leaf readings, which is pretty wild too, right? So it talks to you about your intentions, what do you want to see, why are you here, and then you go through some of that stuff. And then he does some readings for you. He'll tell you some of...
Like tarot card readings?
It's not tarot cards. It's like coca leaves.
Okay, cool.
Right? This is like a very... This has been around for centuries, right? There were points where he had said, now he doesn't speak a lick of English as a translator telling us this stuff. And he's like, some of the stuff he looked at, he just had a weird look on his face. And the guy would talk to him. Then he would tell me, he goes, he doesn't... He's going to leave this for the experience. So he wouldn't tell me what he saw. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going to happen to me, man?
I would have said the same thing.
I got issues, buddy. What's going to happen to me? Right? So now I've met with, they had their own doctor come because they knew I was a diabetic. They had a nurse there as well. You had to fast for pretty much almost like, I think we went 36 hours of fasting. All right. Because the way ayahuasca works, you drink it. It's a drink. So the shaman starts boiling the pot early in the morning, and it's a plant.
Well, I feel like I'm watching a fucking episode of like Lion King, bro, with the
Yes,
cauldron and shit
pretty
like
much,
that, bro.
man. Pretty much. So, he's brewing this thing in the morning, and then by nighttime it's all ready. The ceremony starts at night. I can't remember. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So I had to do another blood reading, which was good. I was good to go.
Okay.
So it's dark. All the lights are out. There's a skylight, and the moon lights the room, all right, which is kind of freaky in a way. You have the shaman, his wife, doctor, nurse. Then you had two people that were like floaters. And what they do is during the ayahuasca process, if somebody is having an intense experience and they start to freak out, this floater comes around and gets you to calm. They know, they're ready. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. The idea is you have to work through what's happening to you no matter what it is, no matter how scary, intense, whatever. That's why you're there. You're there to face shit, all right? But some people get into a state of panic really bad. And so they come and they calm you. whatever it is. They bring you down, and then they let you go back into your experience.
Okay.
So, shaman starts doing his thing. We drink, and it takes like 40 minutes.
Well, did it come in a fucking goblet too?
It was a nice little cup. Tasted like
Frog
almost like
juice.
a dark chocolate coffee kind of taste, right? I'd heard it was awful and people puke. And
Sounds
I'm like,
incredible.
oh, fuck, give me another, buddy. Hit me with another, you know?
Swiss chocolate too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we're sitting and you're just waiting now. You don't know. I don't know what to expect. I have no idea. All I've heard, read, researched was you're almost in like a state of paralysis. Like your body's just fucked. Okay. The key to this is absolute surrender. Surrender. Don't resist. Don't fight. Don't try to control the buzz. Let it happen.
They tell you that?
That's just what I read coming into it. And yes, they do tell you that as well. Okay. If you try to fight it, if you try to control it, resist it, you're trying to get yourself out of it, it is going to become fucking torture. All right. It's not going to give you what you want. You have to submit. Okay. So I came in being a control freak because I'll tell you, Joey, even my years of being high and drunk and all that, I always had to control my buzz. Always. I was always in full control. It was just a mechanism inside me that I could not let go. Even when I used to fucking pop E's like Flintstone vitamins, I had to.
You lost an appendix over it, fuck. You know?
Well, I had to control even my E-buzzes when I was like fucking 18, 19, 20, you know? So here I am now telling myself, all right, just whatever happens, buddy, just let it go. Just let it go. And so Dana gets hit first. She starts like whimpering, like like I could start hearing
Your
this
fucking sound effects are the best. They start.
So I look over at her and she starts to go like this and she starts crying. And they left her at first because, again, you got to experience what you're experiencing. Now, instinctively, I want to go help her. But I said to myself, it's her trip. Whatever she's gone through, she's meant to go through. She has to.
Yeah, bon voyage.
That's what this does. Ayahuasca operates like a snake. It goes through you. It moves through you. You can feel like a snake moving around in you. The visions, you're going to see like snakes going in and inside you, not outside of you. You're not watching a snake. Inside you, it's like this slithering movement, and it's capturing all of the trauma and stress and issues inside your body and pulling it all.
Oh, shit.
It's fucking wild, okay? So Dana gets hit, and she starts crying. Now the crying's elevating. It's getting heavier and heavier. Then the floater comes.
Now you're not doing the sound effects anymore, right? Now he's fucking self-conscious about it.
So
Fuck.
the floater comes over
have said
and he's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Dana, shh, lie down. And she's like, okay. And he lies her down. The shaman's chanting. Now he's fucking all around you.
Oh,
like
really?
This is happening, right? So I can feel something coming now. So now I just lie down, close my eyes. All of a sudden, I started to see slithering patterns, like bright colors going in different directions. It was a snake. I couldn't see the snake's head or tail, just the body going in different directions, but multiple ones, right?
Okay.
Bright purple, bright yellow, bright green. I hate snakes. Like, I freeze up when I see snakes.
Me too. I still don't like them to this day.
Yeah,
You know?
and I can't tell you why. It's not like I ever got bit by a snake or something. Just something I can't stand.
That you don't know of.
That you don't
got
know.
a lot of friends that are snakes.
Yes. Well, yes, true. So I felt calm when I saw them because Ramona in our process talked about the different colors. So like all these colors have meaning. All right. So purple is your connection to God, the divine. Okay. So I was seeing all these different colors. So I wasn't panicking. I just lay there and just let shit happen. All right. And it's very intense, like very intense. It takes over your body and you are kind of like in a state of paralysis. So to move, you're just like this.
Wow.
To move yourself, right?
Wow.
Your body starts to move you. There's feeling of just go with it. Okay? So now I'm in it. All right? And now I'm starting to see things. Things are starting to happen. And They were all intense emotions, man. Like it's hard to fully describe. Your body would feel like it needed to move. So, but it would make you feel like left side. I got to move on to my left side. So you're just like laying there like this, and then you'd roll onto your left side. And I'm on my left side, just like, body stretched out. You're on this mat. My eyes start running. They just start pouring out of me.
Really?
My eyes, my right nostril. Because this is where everything went. Pouring out of me, out of my mouth. Things are pouring out of me. Then I had the urge to just keep spitting. So you're just like, just kept spitting. And I don't know what's happening right now, but there's just the urge of things to drain. Then anyone who's done ayahuasca will tell you there's a voice that talks to you, and they believe it's Mother Ayahuasca explaining or talking to you or directing you. I know this sounds fucking crazy, but when you're in
I'm fucking stimulated, like my asshole's twitching.
When you're in it, it's very real. It's very fucking real, okay? This voice started to make me feel like I was purging or releasing all of the toxins from the alcohol and the drugs out of me.
Wow.
It was just, man, Joey, it was seeping out of me, just seeping. And I started to say, like, Dana, baby, the poison's leaving me. And then she's fucking tripping out. She's like, really, baby? It's fucking like she's floating right now, right? Really, baby? I'm like, yes, it's leaving.
She's so supportive of this fucking crazy trip.
It was wild. So it's just leaving me. And then I was made to feel to roll on my back. So then I lay on my back, and next to you is a pail, a bucket. They also tell you, I forgot to mention, if you feel the urge to go to the bathroom, you need to go to the bathroom. All right?
Like to take a shit.
Yeah, because your body's purging. So I lay on my back, and all of a sudden, so pancreas, appendix, stomach, colon, these points hit me with sharp pain, very sharp pain.
Okay. Like a stabbing?
Yeah, like a stabbing. And I started to lean over, and I was like, fuck, it hurts. And I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, fuck, it hurts so bad. And then all of a sudden, I felt it all swirling, spinning, and then it turned into a ball. And then I just went, puked, and the pain was gone.
That's it?
Pain was gone.
Wow.
I'm like, no fucking way that just happened. What the fuck? I'm tripping out. What the fuck just happened? Like, there's just no way that just happened. So I'm laying there. You start to go through like past lives. All right. If you believe in, your soul's journey through eternity, they believe that your soul was in many different forms. Now, I don't know, yes or no. I never had a thought either way. But here I am now seeing past lives. So I'm actually seeing a different face, but it's my soul.
Were you still Croatian?
No. I was many different forms.
That's interesting.
Many different forms.
Are you talking about like other than humans?
No, it was human.
It's human,
Okay. Yeah. And so going through past lives, I learned that every part of my existence, I was some form of leader, somebody outspoken, somebody that took the charge, which makes a lot of sense because it's who I am today. Okay. The part that really tripped me out was it went back to, I know this is going to sound really fucked up, but just stay with me.
As if this whole thing hasn't been fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I was in Egyptian times. I was a pharaoh. I was standing tall, proud, chest out, gold, the whole fucking look. It wasn't my face, but it was me, like my spirit, who I am today. It was me. Next to me was Dana. It wasn't her face. It was her.
It was Cleopatra.
But whoever the fucking this person was, it was Dana, the woman I have today in my life, was there. This glimpse into my journey had her in each series of my life.
That's fucking nuts.
It explains a lot. Again, this all makes me sound crazy, but when I met Dana,
I think you're fucked.
She was, yeah. When I met her, she felt to me like I've known her forever. It was an eerie thing. Like I've known her forever. There was this familiarity with her. She knows me inside and out. She knows all my tics, my moves, emotionally where I'm at, all of it. She just knows. She's in tune. She knows. All right. Which we always found weird, you know? So now you have these visions and you're going back, and I started to say, I'm like, baby. She's like, yeah, honey. I'm like, you were my queen. You're my queen, baby. You were my queen. You have always been there with me. And she's like, again, in her world, really? I'm like, yes. You know, she's having her.
She's high as a fucking
She's fucked,
kite,
man.
bro.
Like, her trip, you know, every once in a while, like, this is who she is. She's always worried about me. So as I was working through different things and I was puking and throwing up, like things were coming out of me, she'd be like, baby, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, honey, worry about your trip. I'm okay. You worry about you, baby.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept talking out loud at different points, because I wanted her to be comfortable in knowing that I'm okay. Because all she ever does is worry about me. Dana puts me first always.
The best.
You know? And it's, again, like a true partner in life. So every once in a while, like she's in earshot, I'm tuning into what's happening with her. Like she would go through this high and low. She would get pushed by the shaman. The shaman's chanting is pushing a lot of what's happening.
Okay.
And so she would start to cry again. And I noticed his chants would change and she would come back down and she would dip and she would go into a world of giggling. I'd hear, you know, like giggling.
This is so
and
fucked
talking
up.
to her cousins and her brother and all this stuff, right? It was fucking wild.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I'm fucking shitting, I'm barfing, I'm fucking crying.
Holy
I'm in a
fuck.
whole other
Yeah,
fucking...
it looks like he's in the drunk tank. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
pretty much, buddy. So now, you know, I had to get up and go to the bathroom, all right, which was purging. And again, it was intense feelings that all of a sudden kind of swirled, gathered into a ball, and I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. And now you're like fucking paralyzed almost. And I'm like trying to get up. I'm like, I gotta go, you know?
Yeah, I was going to ask, how the fuck do you even go up to the
You
bathroom?
just will your way to go. And then someone comes, the floater comes. Now, what tripped me out was when he came, his face looked like a fucking cartoon. Okay, it was fucking moving. He looked like a fairy. There's fucking wings coming
That's
over.
amazing,
Oh my God.
man.
I'm like, what am I looking at? And so he guides me to the bathroom. A guy told me that did it the night before. He goes, hey, when you go into the bathroom, don't look up, because a light goes on. It's outdoors. You're going to see fucking bugs and it's going to send you onto a trip. So whatever you do, don't look up.
Right.
So I didn't. When I got in the bathroom, I was eyes on the floor the whole time, right? You're finished. Then you get guided back to your spot.
That guy got fucked.
He did. He said it
Holy
fucking
shit.
tripped him out, man. You know, he thought they were attacking him. It was like, you know, Pac-Man. You know,
I love that guy. What the
like,
best
he
advice
was-
that we've got
That
the
guy
whole
had
story.
a fucking horrible experience. All he did was puke. So now I come back to the mat. I lay down. I'm now going back through more visions and more stuff. Then there was a period where, again, my body wanted to turn on to the other side. And I get onto the other side and I start draining more. And then I'm in like this black box. Like I can't see anything. Everything's black.
Yeah.
I can see from my appendix, I was trying to now control the buzz. It was so intense, I was getting a little nervous and I thought I wanted to like calm it down. So now I'm resisting. And it was like this black cloud from my appendix started to come in and I'm actually talking to it. And I'm telling it, fuck off, I don't need you anymore. Go fuck yourself. And I'm actually saying this out loud. Fuck off. Fuck you. I don't need you. Fuck you. And I'm talking to the control part of me.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And then the thing just evaporated and then I puked and just fucking threw up. You're basically releasing that control part of you now. I was facing these things. Then there was...
Fuck, it's a very gory experience, man.
It was brutal. I took a beating. And it was 7 hours.
7 hours this?
7 hours, buddy. And I'll tell you how intense it was.
Yeah, keep going. I'm already stimulated.
So now I'm again on my side. I start to feel the intense pain again. And I'm like grabbing my skin. I'm like, fuck. I felt like I was going to throw up. The shaman, he's like, well, yeah. All of a sudden he goes,
The shaman.
my pain was gone. And in my head, I went, that didn't fucking just happen. There's no way that just happened. There's no way that he just threw up my pain. I'm like, no way, no way, no way. Then the voice starts talking to me because I don't like people helping me. I'll do it. It's okay. I got it. I've always had an issue with people helping me. I'll help you all day long. I'll give you the shirt off my back, but I don't want your shirt. Okay. So when I started to feel the sick and the shaman started to throw up, I started to talk to the voice going, no, it's my pain. It's mine, not his. I don't want him to have it. And the voice said, it's okay to let someone else help you. Let him help you. And I actually went, okay. And then I just settled in and relaxed while this fucking dude's puking and spitting and puking and spitting.
Crazy, man.
And then I laid back down. And then this was the most intense part of it. I started to feel clammy, cold, and shaky. I thought my sugars crashed. And I'm like, something's wrong. Like I'm muttering, something's wrong, something's wrong. And no one responded. I'm like, I need to check my sugars. I need to check my sugars. Something's wrong. And
I'm so stimulated. This fucking Apple Watch keeps going fuck off.
It's already. So I'm saying something's wrong. Something's wrong. Like my sugars are bad. I need to check my sugars. I know what it feels like when you're at like a 2 in your blood sugar. It was all the same feelings. And I said, please, something's wrong. They're not responding because you're just supposed to go through this. Like there's something going on inside you that you're meant to face. You just got to fucking face it. Take it head on. But I'm scared. I think something's actually happening to my body.
Yeah.
And so I lay back down and I'm like, no, man, it's okay. It's okay. Like, you're okay. And then I sit back up and like, no, something's fucking wrong, man. Something's wrong. Now I'm trying to get myself up to go check my fucking sugars. And I'm fucking doing one of these. And I get myself up and I get to the table and so I'm at the table, my blood sugar stuff is right there. And I'm like this at the table and I'm like trying to put this thing together. And the nurse comes, the doctor comes, and I look up. They got fucked up faces, and the nurse is like, Amir, is everything okay? I said, something's wrong. And they don't know how to fucking work this thing. Okay, I'm sitting there like putting this thing together. Check, my blood sugar's fine. It's like a 6. I'm fine. So I'm like, okay. I go back to my mat. They walk me. I lay down. I'm like, okay, you're okay. So then I'm just waiting for the next thing to happen. Then it starts to happen again. Like I start to panic. Like my blood sugars, no man, okay, something is wrong. I'm like, please, can I have orange juice? Can you get me juice? Like I'm just asking for fucking random shit, you know?
Yeah.
And the one person goes, no problem, Amir, no problem. And I'm like, okay, he'll get me juice. There's no juice coming. There's no fucking juice coming. So now I start to panic. Like something's wrong. And so this is the chapter of what is called the death experience, the ego death. All right. I died in this experience. I'd heard of this. I was told it was rare. What was the Aaron Rodgers? You know, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think he's a baseball player.
Played for the Green Bay Packers and the Jets.
Right.
He did an ayahuasca experience, and he said he died in his experience, and he talked about the death experience. And I was listening to this. I'm like, man, that's fucked up. Like, what do you mean you fucking died?
Yeah.
So
imagine me sitting in this chair just hearing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I'm overcome with complete fear that something is physically wrong with me.
Okay.
And no one's responding. And now I say to myself, oh my God, I'm dying. And now I actually feel I'm dying. And I start to fucking panic. And I go, please, like I need juice. And no one responded. No one. And then I just laid down and I went, fuck it. I'm ready to go.
Holy fuck.
It was very real. Very real. I actually thought I was dying. And I was scared. And then some form of peace came over me. That it was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. Fuck the world, man. I'm done. I'm done with it all. I felt relieved. I felt so fucking relieved. No more pressure. No more anything. Nothing. Just peace. And I laid there getting ready to accept the fact that I'm now dying. This is very real. Imagine, this is real. All right? Then I get a vision of my daughter, her face, and then it was like a lightning struck. I fucking shot up and I'm like, I can't leave her. I can't leave her. I can't leave my kid. I'm like, baby, I can't leave you. And Kaya's face is just looking at me. She's not even talking. She's just looking at me. And I'm looking at her, and then I went, baby, daddy's got to go. I got to go. And she just stared at me, and it felt real. Like, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you, and it's okay. I love you. But daddy's got to go. I got to go.
That's crazy.
And then I started to say something like, I'll be better when I come back. I promise. I'll be better. But daddy's got to go. And then Dana is like, what the fuck is happening? She starts going, baby, stop it. And I'm not responding to her. And she's like, Amir. And then she starts going like, make this stop. I want this to stop. Make this stop. The guy runs over to her and he's like, shh, just support him. Just be there. Support him. And I can hear him. And she's like, baby, I love you. It's okay. I love you. And I'm like, I love you too, but I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. And then I said, please just take care of Kaya. Please watch over her for me. And then I laid down and it was crazy. The whole room just went dark. There was no shaman. There was no noise, nobody. It was just me. I was in a black box and I was gone. I don't know. I can't tell you timelines. I don't know if I fell asleep or I don't know what, but all of a sudden everything came back to the room. The moon, the shaman, like, Dana, baby. I was just like, okay, what just happened? And then I felt so relieved and relaxed, like everything just left. And then I just started to say, like, I'm just really tired. I'm really tired. Like, I feel like I can rest now, like real rest. And Dana's like, okay, honey, okay. Like, she's shaky. I'm like, baby, I love you. I'm okay. And then I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. And then I get up, but I only made it a few feet. And then I said to the guy I'm like, I just need rest. I need rest. And I laid on the cold floor and just kept saying out loud, I just need rest. Like, I can finally rest now. Like, your whole life you've been so tired, you know? And for some reason I finally had rest. Like, I can rest. And I fell asleep. He put a blanket on me. I fell asleep. I woke up. I don't know how long I was out. And then I'm like, okay. I crawled back to my spot. I laid there. And then I started to think about shame of the drugs and the alcohol and the stuff I'd done in my life. And it started to form in here again, which makes sense. And then I threw up. I laid back down and I'm like, baby, like, it was like an overwhelming feeling to ask her if she saw her father. I don't know where it came from, why that came into my head. I just went, baby, did you see your dad? And she goes, yes, I saw him. And she was so happy. And I said, how was it? He's amazing. And I said, I'm so happy. And then I went, do you think he'd be proud of me? And she's like, of course, honey, of course he would. I'm like, but I did so much. And then I started to feel the guilt and the shame of the drugs and the alcohol. And I was about to start confessing, not stuff I did with her, just lifelong stuff. And it was like a ball right here. And then something shifted in the shaman. His energy, he got louder, he got more intense, and my ball went away. And then something internally said, that's just for you to shed. You don't need to share. And I shed it. I shed the shame, I shed the guilt, all of it, just gone. And fucking, again, keep in mind, I'm in and out of the bathroom and I'm throwing up.
Brother, I'm walking on the ceiling in this conversation right now.
It was the most intense and profound experience of my life. And I went through every ebb and flow of all of my issues and worries. All the puking and like hitting the bathroom was the purging of so much. And so now we're towards the end. I'm laying there and the nurse comes over and she's like, Amir, you can go up to your room now when you're ready. So this is a big open space, open floating stairs to get up. And then you go down a hallway, which is like, exposed balconies. And then you go into your room and you're done. The shaman's still chanting. I was amazed at how this guy for fucking 7 hours.
I've been wanting to say that this whole
7 hours of just intense chanting. Intense the whole time. All right.
Well, they must have given him a fucking pretty penny, man.
The strength in these people is unbelievable.
And he fucking puked, bro.
Yeah, and he puked. Okay. So I get up to go, and it's work. I'm still kind of like a little loopy. Dana's trying to get up. She sees me going. She's trying, and she keeps falling back.
Shit! I feel bad for her.
Yeah, the lady comes over and she's like, Dana, you're not ready. Like, just stay where you are. But she just wants to be with me, you know? Like, this was intense for her. I get up and I go into the room and I lay on the bed, and you're still tripping. You're still hearing things. You can still hear the shaman down below going. Dana finally comes into the room, and she comes and lays next to me, and I just had my ass kicked for 7 hours, fucking, crying, fucking angry, puking, shitting, leaking.
Yeah, how much did you said there was intense amount of crying?
Yeah. Like it was...
Because you just said you started off with you were coming down this way, and then that's it.
It was a lot of, some of it was crying, some of it was just leaking. Like it was just, again, like I said, I felt like the toxins of the substances were leaving me. That's how it felt. So I'm laying in bed. Dana's laying next to me, and we're just sharing a little bit, but we're both fucked up. We can still tell we're both fucked up. It's like 3 a.m. or something. And I'm just trying to fall asleep, but the shaman's still going. He's by himself downstairs, just fucking howling. Now it's like I'm slowly passing out, but my speech is slurring. Like I was losing some sort of cognitive, I was losing it. And I'm like, and then I'm about to fall asleep when a voice went, don't fall asleep, you won't wake up. You're not going to wake up.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, baby, something's wrong. She's like, Amir? I'm like, don't panic. Something's wrong. Just don't panic. Get the nurse. Like I was slipping into something and it felt bad and instinctively was telling me, don't go to sleep. Don't fall asleep. So now I'm trying to sit up and I'm sitting up like this. And I feel all fucked up. Like I have no life in me. All right. The nurse comes in. And the doctor, Amir. And I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know, something's wrong. Then they come and they test my blood sugars. It's like a 4, so it's like, okay, it's low, but you're not in a danger zone. Something was just wrong. Then they got, what do you call the thing that you throw into water to make it, God damn it. It'll come to me, to help you hydrate.
Okay.
So I'm guzzling that. So now it makes sense. Like I've literally purged for 7 hours. So my body's depleted. Plus I fasted, for 30 plus hours. So I'm
nothing.
Completely depleted. Completely. Like I was so weak and frail at this point. That's why something wasn't right. So I go into the bathroom and I start throwing up again. Like it's just dry heaves, like just heavy dry bile coming out a little bit. And one of the assistants comes in and I said, go get me honey. Just go get me honey. And she fucking bolts and finds like honey, comes in, and I take a couple spoons, go sit down on the bed, and then it's like around 4 or 5 in the morning, I passed out. Wasn't asleep very long. It was like 2 hours. I wake up, Dana wakes up, it's lights in the room. We're like, that was fucked up. That was a fucked up experience.
That's it?
That was the experience. And we have a second night to do this. And so we're both sitting there and we're like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like, I don't know if I can go through this. Like, that was a beating. That was pretty bad. Dana was like, you know what, honey, I don't need to. Like, I realized that I don't have things that are broken. Like, her ebb and flow. But she's like, I'm a pretty happy person. And she is. Dana's fucking status
You're
quo.
like, I'm a fucking...
She's happy. Dana's happy.
That's
you
crazy.
Know? It boggles my mind.
Yeah.
You know, that this person is the same every day in a bubble, happy. Right? So...
Like, she broke the ayahuasca fucking platform, man.
Yeah, man. Now, you know, the parts of her were the parts of getting out of her comfort zone, which is what made her cry through the periods, was she was out of her comfort zone. So this is like... You know, things you face that you now need to understand about life. You've got to challenge yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
But internally, she's happy. Yeah, she lost her father, which was traumatic and will always be painful for the rest of her life. But she is loved. She loves deeply. She's tight with her family. She's got a beautiful memories of her childhood with her father. All great stuff. So she's like, yeah, I'm happy. You know, and she's like, but you, holy shit. Right? So now in the morning, we go down and have this massive breakfast. And so we talked to the translator, and I said, listen, I don't think I could go through that again. It was pretty intense. And he said, yeah, yours was up there as far as intense from what we've seen in people. What's your gut tell you? And I said, I think I got what I needed. I do. I think I got what I needed. And he goes, then that's what this is all about. That's it. Wow. So we go sit with the shaman to do a recap of the night. And so again, the shaman doesn't speak any English. He's just talking about his experience. So it gets to me, and he's doing this. Like, he's sitting like this, looking down at the floor, talking. And then when the guy's like, Amir now, he went, he did this, right?
Buddy, this guy fucked me up, dude.
And so he said, he exhausted me. You made me tired. Right? They said no one's ever made him puke. I made him puke. So I said, can you please explain to me what happened? Because I still can't comprehend how I felt something. And he threw up, and he said, you had a lot of stomach bile, a lot of bile. And that's what he threw up, right?
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, man. And then he said, you challenged me so much, I was able to push you more and more and more. You didn't retreat. You didn't run. So I was able to take you to that next place and that next place, which is why you kept puking and going to the bathroom and all. You just kept following me, you know? And like, you really surrendered and bought into it. So you got everything you wanted out of the experience, you know? He goes, but the stuff that I felt was yours. That's what I threw up, and I couldn't fucking believe it. It was
crazy.
It was absolutely wild. So anyways, that night, we go back to the room, and you're just feeling euphoria. Or sorry, it was later that day. Sorry, yeah, we drove back to the hotel, a couple hours drive. So we're walking Cusco now, just in awe of what just happened, and you're trying to make sense of it all. And we go to bed. I take my insulin. Like, I'm like, okay, it's been a couple of weeks now. Now I can get back on my insulin. I had a vision that night in my sleep of my stomach spitting out the insulin. Okay?
Get the fuck out of here. I have a feeling where this is going.
I haven't been on insulin since.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. So, type 1 diabetics need your insulin. No matter what you do, you need your insulin. I haven't been on insulin since. All right. So there's been readings where my sugars have gone high, like a 12 or a 13, but my body brings them back down on its own. All right. So take that for what you will. But
fuck that. Are you nuts, bro? I'm so stimulated. I feel like Spider-Man, bro. I'm climbing buildings, bro, with your stories.
It was such a real experience for me.
That's crazy.
So, a doctor that told me that I'd never get off insulin, I'm off it. I haven't taken it, Ayahuasca was the catapult into really purging a lot of my rooted issues. I haven't been the same since, you know, alcohol done, any desire for it done. There's nothing you could put in front of me of my old life that would tempt me. It's all done. It's gone.
Has it been that way ever since?
Yeah.
Because I remember you were saying something to do about people, they go 30 days, they've done. How the fuck can you do this shit 20
I know,
times, bro?
but it's the euphoria they chase. All right.
Well, I guess the guy's flat out said, he's like, bro, I haven't experienced one of his in a long time.
I knew all of my issues before I went. Okay, so when the euphoria passed months after, my body still had things to clear. So the next ride of struggle was facing my anxiety. It all came to the surface, and it was a nightmare. It was really bad. It was 3 months of hell. It was worse than shitting myself for 6 months.
Damn.
It was fucking worse.
Okay.
All right. It moved around in my chest. It would be burning here, or all across the chest, or it would be really itchy, where you were just like, what the fuck? It was all coming to the surface, all my anxiety, all of it.
Oh, we're still seeing Ramona.
Yeah, still working with Ramona after.
She's
still.
such a thug, man.
Yeah, man. So now we're dealing with the anxiety. And what was anxiety? Why did anxiety come to the surface? Anxiety is a fucking word. What does it mean? For me, anxiety was rooted in helplessness. When I feel helpless, anxiety comes to the surface, or anger. Okay? This was how my nervous system was wired. So when something didn't go right in life that I couldn't control, helplessness surfaced. Anxiety. You can't control the outcome. Right? So now
This is fucking mind blowing, man.
So it started, so the ayahuasca, I got back, it was August. From August to about October, I was in cruise control, like just status quo. All right.
Yeah.
I was starting to have some sleep struggle. But overall I was good. November was when the sleep started to get really bad and the anxiety started to come to the surface. So now I'm meant to face this. This is meant to happen. Your body releases when you're ready to release. I was ready now. All right. End of November, December, and January, I'm a pure insomniac now. I'm not sleeping. I'm an hour a night, 2 hours a night. I'm having fucking breakdowns. All right. I had a stretch of an hour a night sleep. Now, it's not just like you're staring at the ceiling. You're in full-blown anxiety all night, tossing and turning. I was walking the kitchen at night, angry, fucking punching the table, like fucking screaming.
Yeah.
You know, you could feel throughout the day, it was called anticipatory anxiety, which was also a part of my healing, which I didn't understand. And Ramona helped me understand what that was. And I said, well, why am I anticipating it? She says, because as a kid, you were always anticipating getting the shit kicked out of you. You were always anticipating something bad happening. So now we're facing this. Now you have to face this. How do you face it? How do you get your nervous system to fucking settle? Now comes the self-talk, okay? Now you're living inside your body. There's a whole external world going on. I'm now living internally, inside myself, having conversations all day, every day. You're okay, man. It's okay. You're fighting the anxiety. It's okay. There's no harm. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You're good. And then you have to start working through this inner dialogue. And sometimes it helped. You know, I would have a good sleep, you know, and then the next day would start all over again. And you're just working. It was fucking mentally exhausting to fight fucking thoughts like this all goddamn day.
That's crazy.
And then at nighttime, it gets worse because you're getting closer to bedtime. And it's the worry of, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to sleep. And then you're fucking going through hoops trying to fight this shit, man. It was fucking awful. All
3
right?
months.
3 months of it. I had, I was loaded. I was taking a couple courses. I had business. I had all this shit going on. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, what do I do? Do I just quit? Do I just stop? Because I'm fucked. And I didn't. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stick it out. So There was one morning, it was like 4 a.m. I got up out of the bed. I'm like, I haven't slept a wink at all. Not a minute, nothing. I go on the computer and just start working till about 7:30. Dana's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go work out. I'm trying to beat my body into exhaustion even more so that I sleep, but it's not working.
Yeah.
I get to the door and I get on one knee to put a shoe on, and I'm tying it, and then I just start fucking crying, like just bawling like a baby. All right, like heavy, intense crying. She runs to the front door and she gets on her knees and she just grabs onto me, and I'm fucking shaking and crying. And she's like, just let it out, baby, just let it out. And it's just fucking piling out of me. Dude, it was like 40 plus years of emotion just came out of me. That was all stuff that was just sitting.
That
crazy. Just fucking poured out of me. And then I felt such relief. Take a deep breath. And she goes, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go work out. I just got to go. So I went. That night I slept 8 hours. Like solid.
The best.
The best. So next day got up and still had to work through it. It's like mid-January when that happened. So that was the height, the worst of it, you know? Like I remember my sister during Christmas, I was at her house for 3 days. I was up for 3 days. She's like, what the fuck's going on with you? I'm like, I'm just working through shit, you know? So we get to end of January. I have now mastered what is happening, why it's happening, what the emotions are, why they're surfacing. Now I've been working through the rewiring part, all right? Now it's that process. And so the first real significant change was Dana and I were driving to dinner on a Saturday night, and I had a lot of anxiety. And I said to myself, it's going to sound strange, but I envisioned the anxiety being another person that's just inside me trying to rattle my cage. And I looked at this person and went, you're fucking lying to me. You're a liar. I'm not helpless. I'm not someone who's in any fucking danger because I'm a fucking beast of a man. All right? Anything that's ever come at me in my life, I've fucking knocked out of the fucking park. Whatever the fuck this is, I'll knock this out of the park too, so fuck you. I don't need you, and you don't need to look after me. And then it just fucking subsided.
That's crazy.
And I turned to Dana, and she's like, I told her, she's like, and how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know, babe. Like, I just feel better. And we had a nice peaceful evening, and I slept that night. So from that point on, it was like the seesaw, back and forth, progress, step back, progress, step back. But it was getting better and better. The space between the anxiety was starting to spread. I was starting to get peace in the day. And then it just started to expand and expand. All of a sudden, the anxiety's gone. It's gone, all on its own. No sleeping pills, no anxiety pills, nothing.
Holy
Gone.
smokes,
I'm fucking sleeping like a baby. I'm fucking good. I'm good. And
nice.
It was all a matter of just letting it clear out. Energy comes to the surface to clear. So imagine 100 barrels underwater that you've been holding, deep down underwater. What happens when you let it go?
Yeah.
It fires to the surface, mad with energy, with velocity. When it hits the surface, what happens? It comes fucking loud. It makes a big splash. But when you leave it, what happens? It just starts to bob. It just bobs and it stops. And that's what happened. The anxiety just left. I have no more fucking anxiety.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, man. So, this was 3 months of hardship, but I got my body to finally recognize and understand that I'm no longer helpless. I don't need your help. I'm good.
Can I ask you, how long was this period from the beginning, from when you started seeing Ramona until you're like,
man, it's been 2 years now.
Are you still seeing Ramona?
I still see her. I see her twice a month. The other big thing that changed so much for me was, and another reason why the anxiety disappeared, Dana will tell you this was probably one of the most pivotal moments in what you call a healing journey, was the moment I realized I was no longer a fix-it project. I don't need to be fixed anymore. The version of who I am today is a man I fucking love, and I am proud of, and I am the best version I have ever been in my entire life. And so, this is what changed everything for me. This is where the calm came in. This is where I was able to finally have my peace. The stuff I do with Ramona now is residual stuff, cognitive behavior stuff, just residual stuff. Not fix it. I don't need to be fixed anymore.
Like maintenance.
Maintenance. There's still some stuff we want to work on, okay? There's still a little bit of trust issues, you know, because everybody betrayed me my entire life, like the people that were supposed to love me the most, my parents, the people I grew up around, all that. So there's still stuff. But I am mentally clear as to why these issues come up, all right? It's not like every day I'm a fucking monk and my head's clear and everything's gravy.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Issues come up. The difference is I know what they are and I know how to answer to it and carry on, okay? I have finally released all the stuff that was holding me back, the self-sabotage stuff, all of it. Remember when we went back to the core belief system that once I thought I cleared, I didn't? Now my core belief system is I love this man. This man's a fucking beast. I'm a fucking beast. I'm a winner, and I'm a man.
Good for fucking you,
and
brother.
I believe it, and that's the biggest change in my life now. Is when I look in the mirror, I no longer look at flaws. I just see a man that I love. That's it. That's
brother,
it.
honestly, I fucking.
It's a life-changing experience, and so, you know, where I'm at now is I so badly want to tell the story, which is why, you know, thank you for bringing me here to do this. And
Fuck me, brother. I'm crashing down now. I'm fucking like this, and the waves of emotions, unbelievable.
I want others to tap into this because it's real. When I first started, I thought it was hokey and like, come on. 2 years later, I'm an entirely different fucking person. And I look back on that man with a different set of eyes and a lens. I don't have shame for him. I'm not embarrassed of that version. I look at that version in admiration. How the fuck did you survive all that? How the fuck did you destroy yourself? Go 2-3 nights on no sleep, work 12, 15-hour days and build a fucking business and a career while raising a daughter, going through a divorce and all the shit you fucking went through while fucking snorting and drinking in hospital, multiple surgeries, all the fuck. How the fuck did you survive that? I'm in awe of you. And by the way, thank you for surviving because now I get to take over.
That's an incredible story, man.
I've done all of this to the age of 45. Now I'm fucking clear. I know who I am. I've resolved it all. I'm not a fix-it project. I'm clear in my mind and in my heart. What's the next 40 years going to look like?
That's what I'm excited to find out is what the next 40, and I'm going to be around for that anyways.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
I'm fucking proud of you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm still coming down from this trip too now, bro, but
Yeah.
I'm fucking proud of you.
Well, my hope here is to help inspire other people. That's what I want to do. You know, I love the business that we're in. I have great relationship that they're meaningful, they're impactful. I'm real honored and proud of what I've accomplished, but there's a higher calling. There's something more I got to do here.
Can I tell you something from a guy that was just listening to this entire story? It's crazy that you say all this, bro, because I heard a lot of what you were going through that I'm still dealing with today. Yeah. I don't think people understand how deeply this shit is rooted. I won't lie to you. I didn't, because I'm telling you, I was listening to the story. I'm like, holy fuck. Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you because I'm a very bad interrupter of my ADHD. You know what I mean? But I'm like, brother, I know what he's saying. That whole frog thing.
There's a way out. There is. There is. I promise you. I've seen it myself. I lived through it. I went through the trenches myself. I believe so deeply that I was meant to go through it because some way, somehow, God knew I was going to be strong enough to get past it. And when I did, I had a duty and an obligation to turn around and start guiding others.
Can I give one person fucking insane amount of credit in this whole story? Yeah. Holy fuck, your wife is a beast, bro.
Yeah, I told you she saved
honestly,
my life.
All I kept seeing over and over and over again, a man that's falling.
Yeah.
And it's not, and she just stood there and just helped him.
She saved my life.
She's a fucking trooper, you know. Maybe I wish her nothing but health and wealth, and you guys to have a long life together, man.
And we will. We're meant for some. Our life together is so full of peace. My home is full of unconditional love. You know, so when we talk about some of the residual stuff, you have to remember when your nervous system was wired a certain way your whole life, regardless of whether it was good for you or not good for you, it's still used to something. When I changed all this, cleared it all, and found the peace that I live in today with the wife that I have peace with the daughter that I love, I'm in an environment of unconditional love, which I'd never been used to. So I was uncomfortable. That was part of the anxiety too. My nervous system was trying to get me to retract back to the chaos because, where you are right now is too peaceful, too calm, too quiet. What the fuck is this? All right. So a lot of my anxiety was, you're too calm, you're too relaxed. You've got to something's going to happen. Something bad's. I actually thought the bottom was going to come out. And Dana was there, baby, this is your life now. This is your life. Embrace it. And I've had to learn how to embrace peace, calm, serenity, right? So we want the change. You want it, but you have to understand when you change, you have to now get used to being in a new body. And that's not easy either. So I am lucky, I am blessed that I've had this amazing person come into my life and be there beside me. She was meant to be in my life. I fucking know it. I was meant for something more, and this person came to make sure that I got on the course to get to whatever more is.
Holy fuck, man. It's like that saying, you know, behind every great king is a great queen. 100%. But your story really encaptures that, man. That's why I'm like, holy fuck, bro.
I used to think strong men don't talk. Strong men don't share. You're a man, come home, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You don't tell your wife about your fucking shit. Come in your door. You smile to your wife and your kid, but it's not true, man. A queen's job is to tend to the wounds of the king when he comes home. All right? Takes the armor off, gets the wounds cleaned so that you could go back out and fight the dragons. That's your job.
Brother, you know, it's crazy you say that, but you know, in this society, this era we're living in, it's the opposite, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that do speak up, at some point, as weird as it sounds, that when they open up, that girl during some sort of fight will use it against them, and then wonder why later on the guy never fucking opens up again.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And this is where, like, you know, not to speak on other people's relationships, but I knew in mine what I had. I knew it was a place I could do it, and I did. And not at any point, at any time, did this woman ever make me feel less of a man, ever. Whenever I felt or fell apart, she always looked at me like I was the strongest man she'd ever seen.
That's fucking incredible, brother.
And she will tell you today, if you ask her, he's the strongest man I've ever met. And I don't know where I'd be, you know. I'm just extremely grateful, and I do believe that I've got something that I'm meant to do in life, and she was meant to come in and make sure and see me through it and see me to the end. You know, sometimes, you know, when you're in it, you're in it. As a man, you're in the chaos and you're fighting the fucking battles and you're in it. And you sometimes wonder, like, fuck, is it all coming together? Is it all working? Dana's calm all the time. She's fucking calm, man. This girl is fucking washing dishes and fucking humming show tunes, like, happy, you know? I'm like, what the fuck are you so happy about, you know?
He all hears the swords and the shields clinking over here.
Yeah, and so I said to her, you know, jokingly once, I'm like, man, you're just in a fucking bubble all the time. She's like, but why do you think that is? I said, I don't know. She goes, because you provide the bubble. I don't have a worry in the world.
Does she have a fucking cousin?
Yeah, I know. But when she said it to me, she's like, I don't have a worry in the world because I know you're going to have everything you ever wanted in your life. I know it. I know it. She's like, I feel it. I can see it. I look at you. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in it. But I'm on the outside watching and I see it. That's why she goes, that's why your daughter and I are so carefree and worry-free. You know? So I want men to understand that, you know, this bottling it and keeping it inside is what gets you sick. It's what brings on the booze. It's what brings on the chaos. It's what brings on the self-destruct and all that stuff, you know? If it's not your partner, then there's got to be a buddy or somebody. Just start talking. Just start getting it out, you know? It's important. You are meant for something more in your life. You have to learn how to shed the weight to fully discover who you truly are as a man.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
Brother.
Thanks, man.
I gotta go to fucking take a nap now.
Holy fuck. I know, I'm supposed to go to a dinner function tonight. I'm like, I'm done talking.
I appreciate you. You know, it's funny because we've been talking about doing this for so long, and it was conflicting with the schedules, man. But I was looking so forward to this fucking.
And so was I. Man.
You know what I mean? And honestly, I think it was a great thing that you fucking shared.
Thank you. I love what you're doing here, man.
I appreciate it.
It's important. It's good to get people talking. It's great to give people a platform to open up. You're great, buddy. Honestly, you're great, Joey.
You're the fucking legend here, man. I'm just the fucking guy in this chair, bro.
Thank you very much.
Listen, however, you know what? If you're interested, and if you want to put, I would like to put in the link for the ayahuasca place that you used.
Yes, I'll send you the information
because you were literally saying how people really need to do the research, and obviously, if you've done it,
yeah.
We'd rather people be safe doing it, you know?
And if anybody asks you to connect with me, please send them my way. I'm happy to help, you know, give anybody any insight. The place that I went to, I'm still in touch with them, so I have the contact. I can pass the contact along. Even what Ramona does, the therapy I do, I can send.
What was it called again? Holographic
memory resolution.
Memory resolution.
And there's also some somatic stuff that's incorporated into that.
What a fucking cool thing, eh?
It's. I mean, the stuff's been around, right? It's just not talked about, right? Everything I've learned in the last 2 years has further enlightened me to how much of a joke our medical system is.
I agree with you, man.
It's a joke.
They're all drug dealers.
They are. That's what they are. Drug dealers, drug pushers. Yeah. You know, physical part of the medical system, I understand you break your leg, you got to go in and get a cast. You're not going to get trauma healing and heal your fucking broken leg, right?
Yeah.
But your internal stuff, the anxiety, the depression, the anger, autoimmune disorders, all of these things have direct links to trauma, and there is a path to it, 100%. So I'm living proof of that.
Brother, I'd love for if anybody hits us up, for sure.
Yeah. I'll gladly share the information. I'll share Ramona's website, just so you can actually see the therapy itself and what she does. It works. It works.
Honestly, guys, incredible fucking story. Honestly, great treat. Thank you for fucking sharing that with us, man. Honestly.
Thanks for the platform, buddy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, or anything like that, you want to reach out to Amir, fantastic. Personal friend of mine at this point. Honestly, my buddy. So I gotta go take a fucking nap. I'm too overstimulated. Fuck. Now next time, guys, you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm about to go fucking take a nap.
Thanks.